which we call the Twilight Zone.
Steve Kerr, and you look at Steph and Clay, and even Draymond with his lack of performance.
Is it 2 in a row? 7 points for him. The twirling Doncic. Melting into the defense. The front player strikes. Swing, fly ball. Well hit left center. Ronald Acuna has home. Rookie rushing record for the Steelers.
Look, he came into this game averaging 3.67 yards per carry. 42nd out of 49 qualified rushers.
Freeze to begin the third quarter. It has been incredible. Here he comes again. Oh, goodness. And the Greek basketball god. And he was a great guy that teaches that
some of these offseason moves for the team. And most importantly, guys, the Super Bowl Party Food Draft 2023. Gentlemen, how are we feeling tonight?
I'm over it. I'm good. I've moved on. I think
What stage of grief are you at?
so. Can we talk a little bit about we'll get into conference championships right later tonight. We're going to talk about that a little bit.
We'll talk.
We're gonna have a
We'll
therapy
definitely talk a
session.
little bit about it.
I figured that
really
would
probably
be the main
not.
topic of
I don't
discussion,
think we'll get
at
to
least
it.
at some point.
Okay. All right. Then I'm not going to get into it then where I'm at right now because we'll cover that. We'll cover that.
Okay.
I'm breathing. I've got a nice glass of some Merlot in a plastic cup, if that tells you anything. I'm wearing
Classy Mitch over here.
yeah.
My big fat what?
it says smile big, eat big, drink
Oh,
big.
God. All
Yeah,
right.
it is from Pineapple Willie's.
All right.
What a
Let's
great
go back.
restaurant.
Speaking of which, if you take a look at your calendars, goodbye, dry January, and hello, wet February to you all.
Cheers, Dilly Dilly. Welcome back.
Here.
Boy.
This is all vodka.
It's actually
I've been holding it down over here for you guys, and it has been lonely. I appreciate
Honestly,
you.
It was really nice.
I was right there
Cool.
with you.
Yeah.
It was.
You know what else is really nice is just continuing my normal activities. It was sweet.
That's true. All right.
All
I
right.
lasted 45 seconds of the first round of the playoffs to dry January. That's how
That's
long
good.
dry January was for me. I was pretty happy with that. It's 14 days.
Hey, any day you give the liver a break from just beating the
man.
shit out of it. That's good for you.
Yeah.
I love Corey. I love how you're immediately just like misery loves company, not postcards. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, come on in, boys. Welcome back. Welcome back to the real world, you fucking liars.
All right. All right. Well, you guys, chat. You've been a part of these drafts before. You if you haven't, here's the protocol. It is a 4-round snake draft. We're doing Super Bowl party food, appetizers, dishes, whatever you want to call it.
The spread.
The spread, the Super Bowl spread. 4 rounds.
I'll give you a
Draft
Super Bowl
order.
spread.
Corey with the number 1 pick.
All right,
Aaron
guys.
with the number 2 pick. Todd with the number 3 pick, and then I come in at the 4th pick. Without further ado, Mr. Corey James, you are on the clock.
I mean, this is a no-brainer. This is a 1 of 1. This is an Andrew Luck, a Joe Burrow coming right off the top here. There's only one thing to do. We're going wings. We're taking.
Yeah,
we're not
if it's
we're
not
not
chicken
ma-
wings, then
But here's what we're not doing. We're not making the fans sit there for 7 minutes on the clock. We're just turning the fucking card in. We know who we're taking. And we're getting
Love
this
it.
thing done. The NFL network's gonna be pissed, but we're
I
taking.
don't know. I could do 4 minutes of watching the War Room shake hands.
we're jacked. But this guy, Wings has known that he's been on the team since he declared for the draft and found out who was picking first overall. He knows he's coming to the James team, and we're happy to have him. So Wings, welcome aboard.
Red
So
shirt sophomore, just like instantly coming right in.
Question. Maybe you're going here, Todd, so I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. This is a 2-part question: style of wings, and then sauce or rub of your choice.
So there are only 2 styles of wings, in my opinion. Boneless wings are not wings. Let's be
Okay.
very clear about that.
agreed.
There are flats and there are drums. Those are the only 2 that you can go for. So there's There's
Sure. I was thinking more of like deep fried smoked. What's your
okay.
what's your poison?
No, I can appreciate that light breading, if any. Light breading, if any.
Rob, thanks for liking the stream.
And some sauces. I can go many different ways. I like the Weck, where if you were to go to like a Wings and Rings, or I like the sauces where if you go to like a BW3. So, I mean, B-dubs, guys, the sauces, insane. I mean, you're talking two B-dubs alumni over here between me and Aaron, but
that's so funny because I just like can't eat it anymore.
You know what? I am not tired of it at all, and it's my wife's like favorite restaurant on the planet.
So you're like, yeah, let's do B-dubs.
That Asian zing slaps.
It is phenomenal. It is probably
my favorite was the hot barbecue, and after they got rid of that,
they got rid of it. I was up in arms. I was up in arms when hot barbecue was eliminated. But
you have to.
Yeah, it was a pretty simple order for me every single time.
Really hot, smoky. It was great.
I'm gonna get a medium tradition.
Hot barbecue, Asian zing, and like the spicy garlic.
Spicy garlic is phenomenal.
Like top 3 sauces at B-dubs.
Yeah. When you're trying to go a little bit more ketosis friendly. Spicy gar, parm gar,
right?
Ooh, great combo there. But Asian zing, spicy garlic, mango habanero when I'm feeling spicy. I want to get a little Modelo with a lime in there. But it's a pretty standard order every single time. I don't even look at the fucking menu. What's your special? What's your beer special? All right, ring it up. Let's go. But yeah, we're going wings 1 of 1
wings
here.
Are the easiest number 1 ever. It's the one in the draft that like it's got the pedigree, and every time it's in a draft, it goes 1 of 1. It's like hot wings, Peyton Manning, and then you're like, oh, a couple years barbecue, we got Eli. All right, fine. Well, let's take him. He's got the pedigree. I'm taking.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what you're getting.
Drums or flats, guys?
I'm a flats guy.
I used to.
I'm also a flats guy.
I used to be a drum guy forever. I've recently converted to flats. But
less tendons.
I will say this. I fuck with them all, Bobby.
Yeah, I'm not going to not eat them.
Cody, thanks for liking the stream.
If I have my preference, it's going to be flats. But drums are also it really depends. Like
you sound like Brian Regan right now. Do you have the grapes a favorite? Yeah, grapes a favorite, but I also like cherry. Cherry's also a favorite.
No, just like sometimes you get those really small drums, so I just feel like you get more bang for your buck with the flats.
10-4 on that one. But hey, you know what? Who the worst human beings on earth are is when you're 12 tickets deep and you get a drums only order at B-dubs.
Yeah.
You just want the server to go ahead and kick that person in the shins, or a flats only. I have to sort through this fucking carcass vat of wings and just find you just your flats. And here's
I'm never going to request it at a restaurant.
Yeah, those are the worst.
So before we keep moving forward, ton of comments coming here. Obviously, everyone has their wings. Their wings of choice. Mystery with a new name now. Know your role, your jabroni. I think we will continue to call you Mystery if that's okay. I hope you don't mind that.
Or Dwayne the Rock.
Yeah. Many dips with lots
Johnson.
With meats of cheese, of course, wings. Only time. So talking about cooking wings. Only time wings are on sale because I'm the one that shops and cooks. I like the flats and drums separate, but I got a knife. That's fair. Fair. Rob saying the lemon pepper sauce is flames. Mystery saying loving the spice. Rob also following up with spicy garlic and lemon pepper are my go-to. Used to be garlic parm, but lemon pepper is muy bueno.
Garlic
Tommy coming in here.
Wing ingredient.
Yeah. Tommy coming in here saying drums. So in the minority of this conversation. And here's the biggest.
Good question. Great question, Tommy.
He says blue cheese. You guys better not say ranch. I'm a blue cheese man 155% of the time on wings.
I'm going ranch here because I don't want liquid mold cheese.
You know what? I
want it directly shot into my veins as I'm eating hot wings when I have blue cheese.
You know what I love about this? We have Todd with blue cheese, Aaron with ranch, Corey doesn't care, and I don't want any of it.
Well, here's the thing. I will take that option just as well.
Yeah.
I
do enjoy a little ranch to cut it.
But I do if I have to pick one, ranch.
Yeah, that's the one I go with
like
more.
But I
don't
like ranch on their pizza. I'm like, if it's good, you don't need it.
No, but ranch is really good on some pizza too. You know, Bobby, you know what the Fairfield High School special is? $1 a day you can feed yourself, baby. You get a slice of pepperoni pizza, and then when you check it out at the counter, you go and you ask them, "Can I get a packet of ranch and a packet of hot sauce for $1?" Your parents are giving you $3-4. You pocket that over time. We're paying dividends. We're paying dividends just on lunch. All right.
Here's a hot take.
You're
Ranch is
investing
for
in the Otis
chips.
Spunkmeyers.
Blue cheese is for wings. Yeah, 3 for $1. Otis Spunkmeyer's game
You ain't
changer.
fucking around there, Bobby.
Yeah, that's a great. Aaron. If you don't know, if your school didn't
Buying
have
3
it,
for
Fairfield High
$1 and
School,
selling them $1 a piece. I mean, it's
had-
the business.
They had these fucking dank Otis Spunkmeyer hot chocolate chip cookies. Only depend on who was making them though, because you would occasionally get the burnt ones. You guys remember that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you're just fucking wrecked. Your whole day's wrecked if you get burnt cookies.
It is.
But-
It's pop, Tommy. The comment coming in the chat. They also call it soda pop. It's pop.
It's
It's
pop.
It's
pop.
called soda pop. All right. It's pop.
And
It's fine.
yeah, in
Soda's
Ohio,
acceptable.
it's pop.
Michigan is pop. But anyway. All right. So let's get back to this draft here.
Well, I
We-
love
sorry.
how we went. We're like, we don't need to waste any time on the clock with this one. It's 1-1, and we divulge into a whole.
We just
Well,
fucking
We are
went.
now
This
we are
one
now
down.
10 minutes in. And we've only made one pick.
balls
It's
deep.
fine. It's fine.
All right,
Wings.
We're happy to
Chicken
get
wings
wings.
off the board. Corey, number 1 pick, solid. Aaron on the clock, number 2. Who you
Yeah,
got?
it's not a great draft to have number 2, I would say, because 101 is very easy, and I would definitely like to take 2 picks, back to back, because I think you're going to get good value. With that being said, at number 2 in the Super Bowl food draft, I'm taking sliders, boys, and I'm going to tell you why. We'll call them burger sliders too, just in case.
Beef
we step on
sliders,
toes
like
with some
burger.
other
Like,
things.
okay.
Yeah. Part of the reason about the Super Bowl is this. Not only is the slider going to be superior because you want less room on your plate, okay? Because I'm trying to fill it up with everything at this buffet style.
You want less room occupied by the dish, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Sure.
2 sliders is going to be superior to like a whole burger. A burger is not a great Super Bowl food.
No.
A slider,
Fair.
absolutely perfect.
Yeah, because you want a smorgasbord on that plate. You also want to be able to consume 3 to 4 times the amount that you would normally eat in one meal over the period of 3 to 4 hours,
And I'm
For sure.
as a usual American would. That's the only American thing to do there, Aaron. Great
Yeah.
pick.
I do a great one in the sheet pan, and then you switch them, and then you flip them over.
It's the way to go.
King's Hawaiian.
King's
roll.
Hawaiian
It's the way to
Roll,
go.
cheesy on top.
Yeah.
Cut them in half.
Yeah.
It hits every time. It's probably my best party dish.
Mm.
Yeah, it's great. The copious amounts of butter that hit the top of a Hawaiian roll slider burger. Worth the bill.
So we called Todd's booty.
The buttered up Hawaiian slider. God damn! Is that what you guys talk about when I'm not around?
Yeah. Just when you walk away, baby.
Ah, hate to see you go, but I love what you leave.
All right, Todd. We got wings and sliders off the board. Pick number 3. What are you coming in with?
Guys, I'm nervous because I've had a lot of debauchery in these drafts in the past. Obviously,
Don't go Whoppers here.
yeah. So it's
If you're
this
taking
could-
Whoppers, I'm heading out the door.
I mean, this could be a Whopper style pick. I don't know where you guys land on these, but I'm going just straight crock pot meatballs.
Oh,
no.
Just a nice barbecue meatball.
that's
Great pick.
wonderful.
Great pick.
I'm specific to the sauce. It is the Sweet Baby Ray's sweet and spicy chipotle sauce is
Okay.
what I use for the meatballs.
Can I give you a little an alternative out there as well?
Always.
Aaron
always.
already knows.
yeah.
Grape
That's
jelly
what I thought
and,
you were going.
and chili sauce.
Okay, so we use grape jelly with the barbecue sauce.
Which
Okay,
I
to add
think
a
is
little
pretty much what Todd is going for, but I know exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking about, Corey.
Yeah,
Those are-
that's a great. So I have done that as well in the past. That's been a oh shit, I forgot the thing, and then you just have them both and you
Or
dump
it's
them
like a
in there.
potluck at work, and you're just like, "Fuck!" All right.
Yep. Yep, that happened. Christmas of 2018 with CarMax. That's exactly what happened to me. I was, oh shit, I forgot the stuff, and then I just immediately drove to the Meijer down the street, got all the things, even bought a tiny crock pot, put it all together. It was
Perfect.
done.
Well,
That's
and it's
beautiful.
interesting because that style of meatball, for whatever reason, hits better in like a buffet style setting, as opposed to like if I'm going to make a Parmesan sandwich or something,
Yeah.
like that's not what I want at the Super Bowl. I want a toothpick and I want to just stand by the crock pot and make small talk.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. He's
As-
the
as you
water
smash
cooler of the
15
Super Bowl
20
party.
That's
Yeah, so I have the under tonight. Actually, I know. I'm rooting against points.
What squares did you get? What squares did you get?
Get the little napkin cup.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and the great thing is you're standing next to most likely you're standing somewhere near a refrigerator, so the beers are on deck.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very good.
that's-
And just to be clear, in this draft, we're sticking to food, right? We're
Yeah,
figuring.
I was gonna
Okay.
sneak a pick in and just say keg and come out like. Oh, no, it's good.
all right.
Good pick.
Rounding out the first round. Not gonna waste any time here. I feel like pizza. Got to go pizza.
Great pick.
Sure.
It's on the
Dealer's-
big board.
Dealer's choice, whatever you like. Any kind of pizza is good pizza, unless you're putting pineapple on it, and that's where I draw the line. But yeah, I got pizza rounding out the first round.
In buffet style, I'm telling you, it's the square. You got to get the square slice.
Oh, for
That's-
sure.
that's
Yeah,
cheap.
we're
That's
not
the
we're not
better
doing
than-
triangles here. It's
No, no,
squares. You want
square.
more bang for your buck on the plate. You want to spread it out.
Mary,
Some of
thanks
that-
for liking the stream.
What up,
Some of that
brother?
Donatos, baby.
So I have a question for Mystery before we move forward. What the fuck is clam dip?
No idea.
That's definitely some
It's
northeastern.
a sex move of some kind.
Yeah, I think that's how Declan was created, was the clam dip. So
Oh Lord, you should have seen him last night. He used a clam dip on me.
Oh, Lord.
Pizza is a great one. It's just one of those ones that's like it goes with everything. If it came to me with my next pick, I wasn't gonna let it slide.
Right.
70s.
Yeah, I
know.
mean, there's a restaurant down here in the Ohio area called Roosters, and they serve pizzas with chicken wings on them. I mean,
Sounds like
You
a
can't-
choking hazard.
Yeah.
you can't beat it. It's fantastic. All right, to start off round two. This is kind of like I want to say a combination thing. Am I allowed to do like a nacho station? Does that count as
You say
one?
nachos.
Yeah, nachos.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I'd say nachos.
Nachos
Only because
work.
like if I do like nachos, I don't just make a giant thing and put it because I don't want things to get soggy. You know,
Well, we're not talking about
the
what individual similar to the pizzas. We're not talking about what's actually on the nachos, just the dish in general.
nachos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good pick.
I always make sheet nachos for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Two safe picks. I'm happy with pizza and nachos.
I think a nachos hack, utilize some form of Dorito for your chip.
Absolutely. Cool Ranch or what's your poison there?
Spicy nacho.
Spicy nachos are good. I like the purple bag.
Chili?
Those
Yeah.
are fantastic.
Spicy sweet
Hell
chili.
yeah.
Those are fantastic.
Those are the best.
I also just Cool Ranch.
What's your
can't beat it.
ratio? Are you just going 1 and 1 here? Or are you going because I'd go more tortilla and then you have a nice little
Surprise chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
little accent piece, the piece de resistance.
Okay. All right. Todd, second pick, round two. First round was barbecue meatballs. What are we
Yeah.
pairing with it?
So I like to have my toothpicks, and I also like to have a section on my plate for the chips that comes next with this buffalo chicken dip. That's also going to be smothering the plate here. So
That's a good one.
I like to. I wish, and I'm sure this is out there, and I hope this becomes just a normal thing. I would like to make a Super Bowl plate where you can just have like a center section for your dips. You have your pizza / sliders, chips,
God.
and then
They make that.
shut the fuck up.
They
Do they
do.
really?
They also make plates that you can put on your solo cup and carry around with your solo cup in the middle. You can lift your plate off it, take a drink, and then set it back on and have a free hand holding cup and plate. We're the greatest country on the planet, and it's not even fucking close.
I think God just came.
Oh man, I gotta find these things, Bobby,
Not
for
even-
the Super
yeah.
Bowl. Be ready, because
Not even
We're
fucking
gonna-
close. Good try,
we're gonna-
Canada. Healthcare. Mm-mm.
guns, no sir, that's America, baby.
You're goddamn right. We're gonna lead the world in diabetes. All right.
Yep.
All right. Aaron.
Great pick. Whoa, excuse
third
you.
pick, round three.
No, no.
First,
What?
Isn't it
You
back
went-
to me?
No, you went first.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it's your pick. Okay, my
Jeez,
you already got
Pineapple
Buffalo
Willies. Yeah.
Aaron's first round pick was sliders. Aaron, what are we throwing on the plate with it?
Well, It's going to almost be like a backyard 4th of July American style here. But again, we're shrinking it all down. We're going pigs in a blanket.
Oh, yeah.
Great pick.
Can't go wrong with piggies in a
And part of the
blankie.
reason you go pigs in a blanket here is because we already have the meatballs off the board. That is another great form for your cocktail wieners. We're going to throw them in some croissant rolls here. Throw them in the oven. A little salt, a little pepper on top. They're phenomenal. Little mustard on the side. Again, it's all about having great flavor profiles in small bite-sized forms on your plates. We got sliders. We got pigs in a blanket. I think we're having a great draft so far at the 2 position.
Yeah, no, I mean overall,
Great pick.
it's been pretty solid so far. No, no faux pas up to this point. Look at you, Todd. All right, Corey, round out round 2.
I cannot believe that this is available to me right here after taking wings number 1 overall, getting started with this in the second round. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that on Super Bowl Sunday, over 100 million pounds of avocados are consumed every single Super Bowl? We're going guacamole here, guys. I got wings and guac. It's just cashing in at this point. It's phenomenal. Guacamole is phenomenal. Bobby, you're shaking your head. It's because I haven't made you guacamole yet. You're going to come up here this summer. I'm going to make you some fresh guac sur la table, and you're going to enjoy the fuck out of it. Also, a little bit of some twists on guacamole. Your standard guacamole: avocados, tomato, red onion, salt, pepper, lime, cilantro. You want to change it up a little bit. You want to take it up a notch. Put in a little bit of serrano peppers, some fresh pineapple. I know you're like, oh, pineapple on pizza. It's not on pizza. A little bit of pineapple and a little bit of cucumber. That serrano pepper is nice and hot. That pineapple and that cucumber cut a little bit. It's phenomenal, guys. Absolutely.
You get a little
good.
crunch in there too. Yeah, that's good.
It's phenomenal. I'm
I've
taking
tried
guacamole.
copious amounts of guacamole from various places, and it's just never something I've had a desire to eat.
Yeah, it's so good. I could eat it with a spoon.
Do you like avocado at all?
Not
Like
a huge
just on
fan.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Hard to like guacamole then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not my thing. But I will, Corey. I will try it. I will. Try
All right. Okay.
I will give it a shot. I will never. I'll try anything twice. That's why I tell people.
Absolutely.
All right. So rounds 1 and 2 are complete. Corey, you get to start round 3. Back-to-back picks here.
So
we got wings and guac. What's next?
Wings and guac. So this is something that I would never start the game eating this, but I'm talking about like just into the third quarter. We've already watched the halftime show. You've probably put down more than a 6-pack of beers, hopefully. And then at this point, you need something a little bit more substantial to bring you home. So we're opening up that crock pot and we're getting into that chili. I'm going with chili here with a third round pick.
Yeah,
Wonderful
great.
choice.
The NyQuil chili.
Yeah, just like I got to get something in here so that I can wake up tomorrow and go to work, because for some reason I always forget to take the day off. Aaron tells me every year, take
I
it
call
off.
it Veterans Day. I know that's offensive, but you got to be a vet and you take that day off.
Well, yeah, and honestly, we don't get many a bank holiday off in our respective lines of work. Whether it's Indigenous Peoples Day, Columbus Day, whatever the other random holidays. I don't even get Martin Luther King Day off in my line of work. So if you're going, you take it that day. That's my day.
You don't get those bankers holidays.
We don't get bankers holidays. It doesn't happen to us. So
between
the
New
day
Year's and Memorial Day, it's nothing. It's a desert. You need a little oasis. Super Bowl's the perfect time.
I don't even get Good Friday off. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much, but I mean, come on. Doesn't seem like a Good Friday. Am I drinking beer right now? No.
I can tell my boss they're all Good Fridays, and he's like, back to work.
But no, I think chili, a nice substantial thing. I honestly, guys, I got my top 3 already right now. So
Beautiful.
rocking it.
So are you doing buttered toast with it, or like what are you doing with chili?
Big cornbread guy. Big cornbread in a cast iron. It's delicious. Delicious. I always start with it on my like a side plate or a napkin next to my bowl, but I always end up breaking it up and throw it in there.
Of course.
Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the right thing to do.
Yes.
All right, Aaron. Second pick, round 3. We've got sliders and pigs in a blanket.
So this might be a little left field, but I feel like we got Americana taken care of. You know what I mean? We're done there. You got American staples with the sliders, with the pigs in a blanket. We're gonna move over a little to the classier side. Something that's gonna pair low with Corey's red over there, and we're taking the charcuterie board. We're taking the meats, we're taking the cheeses, we're taking the crackers, and it's you need it.
It's the perfect starter.
The perfect starter. Just this again, same thing. Standing in the kitchen by the fridge, little piece of cheese. You just throw that right in the mouth.
And then your wife's mom is like, Aaron, we've got plates. I'm good.
Oh, no, because I'm not going to have that much. I'm just going to stand here. And
I'm just grabbing a couple, and then you eat 7 times as much as anyone else.
That's a Bobby Lehman staple bringer to someone's house. Every time he comes to the house to watch football, I know for a fact there's going to be salami, pepperoni, and various cheeses and some crackers on my coffee table.
Absolutely.
So there's a thing going around the internet. The millennials are so into charcuterie boards and mimosas because we grew up on Lunchables and Sunny D, and I've never felt anything more true in my core.
Yeah, that resonates.
I feel attacked a little bit, honestly.
Yeah, I feel seen is what I feel.
I'm seen and I'm heard.
Yeah,
here.
Yeah.
Mystery said charcuterie is for the holidays when my grandma comes. I mean, there's never a bad time for.
I'm ready to watch the Super Bowl.
Spell it. I don't care what he has.
He spelled it phenomenal. I am
perfect.
I'm watching the Super
Bowl.
You know what
I wrote on the paper? I wrote Charboard because I was
smart. Don't put yourself in a position.
We got classy parties over here. Okay, you got to have the charcuterie.
Charcuterie board, box
makes
wine.
the deli meats into like little flowers. And
dude,
shit. It's insane.
As someone that has been over to Aaron's house as a guest on multiple occasions, I can say that Miss Mary Mailing crafts one of the most beautiful charcuterie boards that I have ever seen. She made it for us. We started eating it, and it fed us through the weekend. That's how much food was on this fucking charcuterie board. We're just like,
every time we had a little.
Should we bust it out? I was like, fuck yeah, dude, let's go.
All right, next time that Angel makes something of that stature, please.
I probably got.
Do not
pictures.
forget to
I'll send us the
photograph
group
it.
Chat. I will. I'll get you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
dude. It's
a work
like
of art.
Sexual.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it gets me going. I'm excited over here.
God damn.
All right, Todd. Third pick, round 3. We've got buffalo chicken dip and barbecue meatballs.
Yeah, guys, this is. I'm again. Nobody's made a bad selection yet, but I'm just shocked that I'm going to get to say that I'm taking queso.
That's a great pick.
Queso. I've already got the tortilla chips for my buffalo chicken dip. I might as well throw a little queso on the plate that I now know that you can divide, which is unfucking believable. I can't wait to spend $40 at Target on these dividing plates when I go get them tomorrow because I won't be able to wait. But there's nothing better than just a heaping portion of queso that just mixes right in with everything else you got on your plate. You just take that scoop.
It's like, oops, got on my pigs on a blanket. Whoops.
That's what. So there's queso has multiple vessels, right? That's the important thing here. Slider, you can dip that in queso. Pizza, you can dip that in queso. Pigs on a blanket,
you can dip that wings.
Fuck it.
Queso starts in the corner of the plate but finishes everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like the gravy of Super Bowl party.
It's the COVID-19 of Super Bowl sides.
And then it's the thing that wakes you up at 3:30 in the morning when your heart's on fire and you're still hammered and you wake up, you're like, oh God, I can't. Am I having a heart attack? Oh no, it's the 6 portions of queso I ate last night.
It does stick with you. It does stick with you.
Gentlemen, Derek in
What's up, Derek?
Derek, how you doing, buddy? Derek, drop in here right now your top 4 picks for Super Bowl snacks.
Yeah, Chad's doing a good job of joining in there.
What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make my pick and then we'll recap the first 3 rounds going into the final round.
I like it.
Dig it.
All right. So this one is kind of a homer pick for me. It's one of those things that has multiple uses. I'm not sure what you guys call it. In my world, it's called bagel dip.
Oh, bagel dip, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
And, a little old English cheese, some garlic, and you can dip anything in it. Pretzels,
cream cheese in there, right?
Yeah, cream cheese. Like it's phenomenal. you can put it on everything, and and it's a nice little starter to get that carb load going and soak up some of those beers that you're going to be drinking on Super Bowl
Yeah.
Sunday. So.
Now that I'm thinking about it, cream cheese is kind of a little Super Bowl slut.
It is a little bit.
It's a hussy. It's everywhere.
That's not everything, dude.
It's like a village bicycle, baby. Everyone's had a ride.
That's actually a really good Mike.
Great Austin Powers reference there. Beautiful.
All right,
And actually, that's the second time in the last 24 hours that I have referenced Austin Powers. Not obviously with you guys, but that's just it's on the brain, man.
Good.
Yeah. All right. So let's do a little recap here before we get to the final round here. Round one, Corey started us off with chicken wings. Aaron followed with sliders. Todd with the barbecue meatballs. I followed with pizza. Round two, I took nachos. Todd took buffalo chicken dip. Aaron came in with the pigs in a blanket, and Corey finished the round off with the guacamole. Round three, Corey chili, great pick. Aaron charcuterie board, great pick. Todd queso, phenomenal. And then the bagel dip to round out round three.
This is, honestly, third round, that's probably the best value we've had out of any
Power round.
Oh, honestly, I mean, outside of the first, I think that's the best round that we've done so far.
Pretty good.
We went deep there and got after it. All right.
It's just intel and scouting and dedication to the craft is what that really boils down to here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely respect and appreciate it. This has been a tight draft.
Like my fucking waistband after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, bring your sweatpants.
Yeah, you're wearing sweatpants. This is not we're looking, we're dressing up to the nines in our jeans and polos. No, we're wearing sweatshirts and sweatpants with a pair of Nikes. and just absolutely.
J's on my feet.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the move. You want to look like Tim Allen in the Santa Claus, like transitioning to Santa.
Very good.
So they're like, what's going on here? And he's like,
Suits at the tailor. I don't know what to tell you.
Except for when the doctor listens to your heart, it doesn't do jingle bells. It's like
oh, that'd be phenomenal.
Mystery coming in fourth quarter. It's time to wise up unless you have beds all around, sweetened sugar, and many other drinks that may contain caffeine. If you have the beds, party on.
I got the beds.
Breakfast casserole, great post Super Bowl hangover dish, 100%. Chasing came in and said nothing hits better than some bomb ass barbecue wings on game day with a Dr. Pepper.
Ooh.
What's
college football beverage, but I'm just kidding.
My favorite version of Dr. Pepper is the cherry vanilla. I think that Dr. Pepper just slaps.
My favorite version of Dr. Pepper is with rum.
Okay, I didn't realize we were adding alcohol.
That's the truth. Yeah, that's just the truth.
Personally, I had like 24 flavors.
That's it. So in high school, one of my brother's friends gave me a captain, and Dr. Pepper's like, "Here's your 24," and I was like, my head just full explosion. It's unbelievable.
Those things will fuck you up fast too, just because they're so sweet.
Yep.
Just like me.
Aw.
Oh.
Derek here, just add some whiskey in your set. Y'all know I'm good with some whiskey. Oh yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you do.
That was an excellent evening.
We should same call.
Let's run that back after the Colts hire a head coach.
Yep.
I'd love to run that back with you, Derek.
That'll be some celebrating. I'm interested to hear what his take is on Jeff Saturday, and if he's gonna take that position.
Let's get round 4 done here, boys.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, round 4. I think we've knocked off all of the main courses. What I want to do now in round 4, we got to hit it with a little bit of the sweet. We got to come in with some
Fucking
dessert.
bastard.
I'm not going probably where you think I'm going. It was a toss-up. This has been a tough decision, and I didn't know what I was going to do up until this point. And we are going to go with the chocolate chip cookie. Fresh baked chocolate chip cookies. I was on the borderline between chocolate chip cookies and ice cream cake. That was kind of where I was, because my dad,
chocolate chip cookies. Why? Give us what did the tape tell you here, Bob?
I think you can get carried away with the ice cream cake and not the cookies.
I think ice cream cake is. I like the idea of ice cream cake more than I actually like ice cream cake.
Well,
It's
my
true.
dad makes an unbelievable homemade ice cream cake.
Shut
That
the
is
fuck
true.
up,
I swear, it's unbelievable, dude.
Charlie?
Charlie makes it's actually my favorite dessert in general.
That's interesting because
Unreal.
ice cream cake is one of those things where I'm like, you just have to buy it. Like chocolate chip cookies, you make.
Yeah, the
So-
fact that he makes one is
I'd love to
unreal.
try that.
yeah.
That's why I
would
I
say
think I know what I want to do. I want to make an ice cream cake now.
So it's actually pretty simple. Get a spring-form pan. You
Is he
take
making his own ice cream?
no, he's not
Oh.
going that far. You just go and get whatever flavors on.
That's where Aaron draws the
4
line.
a.m.
No.
So go and get whatever
Milk
flavors of ice cream that you want. So how he does it, he takes Oreo cookies, puts them in a food processor with a little bit of melted butter, processes it. That's your crust on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
He takes vanilla ice cream, layers about a third of the springform pan with the vanilla, tops it with hot fudge, layers that with
Corey's
M&Ms.
I can
You
see
can
it.
do peanut M&Ms if you want, Corey. And then tops it with chocolate and then covers it with Cool Whip, tosses it in the freezer.
Cool Whip.
It's-
Oh my god.
It's
It's-
wild. It's actually it's an entire journey.
It's stellar. It's the best ice cream cake.
That
I've
sounds
ever had.
phenomenal.
It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, it's my it's
So that's
It's my-
why. That's
The
why. I
only
figured
reason
it.
I didn't is because if I eat all of this and then I eat that, I know I'm gonna vomit.
Yeah, that's
And
a lot.
I
of
don't want to
food.
do that. I'd rather just have a cookie or two and
At first, yeah.
just sleep.
yeah.
Grab a couple of these for the road.
Fair
They're gone before you get to the
So
car.
I went with chocolate
Yeah.
chip cookies. If there was a round 5, it would be ice cream cake. So
Fair
All right,
enough.
Squad.
Yeah.
Round
so-
out your squad.
Sure. So I'm also thinking something sweet here, fellas, and I'm going to go with the standard chocolate brownie here.
Fuck off. Todd.
Just going with the brownie here. Okay. Well, it's because I'm right. And
You are right. Yeah.
So I'm not partial to homemade store-bought. Doesn't matter. If that thing is cut into rectangles, I'll eat it. I'll eat half a pan.
Hmm.
But I will say that if someone brings so I don't know if you guys have ever seen these before. We actually got this as a wedding gift. They make pans that create brownies that are nothing but edges.
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, where it's like got all the
Okay. I'm
Derek,
in.
Oh.
send us the recipe for these caramel cheesecake bars.
Yeah, caramel cheesecake bars.
Yeah, that
'Cause
sounds pretty good.
I would fuck with that. And Bruce, nobody took ribs. It is a shocker.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just too much. I think it's just too much
I-
for.
Yeah.
Well, here's
Ribs
the-
are low. They're low. They're low on my meat board in general.
It's
I
a
agree.
tough
Sorry.
food to eat
No.
off of a couch.
It's true.
You know,
A
I'm
good
taking
point.
the plate to the couch. I don't necessarily have the elbow support. Who knows who I got on my left and my right? And I don't want to sit there with Bart. Now you want to talk about how pulled pork like sandwiches didn't get put on the board? I'm with you.
Yeah.
Ribs are not the right vehicle for having all of these people around your elbows.
Plus, if you're visiting someone, is it a leather couch easy to clean up? Because I'm a bit of a messy eater. Do they have a dog that's going to clean my hands for me? These are
And then you
things
got to
that I
worry
need
about
to
the
know.
dog getting the bones and the
Yeah.
splinters.
It's fair. It's fair.
You
Yeah.
guys went up there. Pulled pork sliders not off the board yet. That's a shock.
Well, here's the thing. You guys are putting all the dessert on it, which is fine. I've always been a guy I don't have a sweet tooth. I have a
It is
meat
your
tooth.
pick, by the way.
I
So
know.
you-
I got a meat tooth, man. I'm like, I would so much rather forego dessert for just an extra piece of meat.
Oh, I gotta have a sweet at the end of my meal. I got
But
to.
I
I'll
want to
probably have a piece of chocolate before I go to bed tonight. To be honest with you.
Yeah, well, I'm going to keep with the theme here because I'm also looking at my plate. I'm like, I do think you need something to. And one of the things that I kind of missed on my board here was a dip, and this isn't a dip to go with the rest of the plate, but just that something you need on Super Bowl day. I'm taking cannoli dip, guys.
Okay. Never had it, but
What is
I
cannoli dip?
definitely eat
I
it.
mean, it's like the filling that you'd have with a cannoli, and you basically are dipping like waffle cone. Basically,
Oh my
in it.
god,
Yeah, it's fucking phenomenal.
that sounds amazing. That sounds so good.
Cream cheese is back.
Yeah. It's everywhere, man.
I just heard diabetes. That's all I heard.
That
I
does
love
sound
it.
incredible.
Cannoli dip. All right. You got a recipe for that?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, he's got. We need to put a Super Bowl cookbook together. The Rally Tell Sports Super Bowl cookbook.
I would 100% write that, no problem.
Yeah, be phenomenal.
All right, Corey, round us out.
All right, guys. So we had brownies on the board. They're gone, but don't worry. We did our research. We know what else is a slam-a-llama ding-dong, an easy snack, one that you're probably going to have more than one, and it'll quench that sweet tooth there for you. A staple in your childhood, and I hope in most of your get-togethers, the Rice Krispie treat. Rice
Ooh.
Krispie treats are so fucking good. Underrated
Good
sweet
boy.
snack. And you can go many a way with this. You can go Cocoa Pebbles, Fruity Pebbles, Standard Rice Krispies, Cocoa Krispies. You can get all kinds of crazy. You can put peanut butter chips in there. You can do all that stuff. But we're going to stick with the standard Rice Krispie treat here to round out our stellar
Little
roster.
I
marshmallow.
like the.
little rice
I go
Krispie
fruity
bun.
pebble. That's,
Yeah.
that's
Those are phenomenal. Those are so
That's
good.
that's a perfect
Good mixable.
carbohydrate to end your evening.
Yes.
You've literally done nothing but hammer beers. There's probably some brown liquor involved in there at some point in time.
Jaden coming in with a banger. Hanky
Oh
Panky.
yeah.
Oh, what's
We
that?
missed Hanky Pankies.
Oh, puppy
We
chow.
did.
That is a complete
Oh,
oversight.
puppy chow,
Puppy
dude.
chow.
So here,
I was just
Hanky
thinking about
Pank,
it after I made mine.
All right,
Hanky Panks are
honorable
they're
mention.
Stromboli. Nobody says Stromboli.
Stromboli pinwheels, like pinwheel sandwiches.
Hey,
Yeah, I was gonna say, or
Yeah.
just like
Honestly,
party sub.
Yes.
I was gonna
Hanky
say,
Panks has to be at the top of that list.
What is
Like,
it?
That is a huge oversight.
Hanky
Uh,
Panks.
Chips and salsa. We forgot chips and
Yeah.
salsa.
I was, and the one I also missed.
I-
Yeah,
I did
seven-layer
nachos.
dip. Yeah, it was kind of touch case.
yeah, that's and
nachos.
I went guac, so I can't go chips and
Right.
salsa.
Right.
Soft
And I went
pretzels with
basic,
beer
can't go
cheese.
Chips and salsa.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Soft pretzels with beer cheese. That's
Soft
a-
pretzels with beer cheese. That's a
Yeah.
big one. Jalapeno poppers. We forgot those.
yeah.
Spinach
Potato
artichoke
skins.
dip.
Mozzarella sticks.
Oh, mott
Anybody?
sticks, tater skins. Yeah, this isn't
I
fucking
don't really think of
Applebee's,
that
but
as,
yeah,
like,
kind
it's
of.
It's
just
Fridays.
Yeah, now
It's
it's
Fridays.
just now it's just
Take care
half
of your
off
family.
apps.
Yeah, can I get a $2 32-ounce PBR, please?
It's
Aaron,
half
did-
off apps.
Did
So
you
we
ask
can
what a
get
hanky
two.
pank was? Aaron, did you ask
No,
what a
I
hanky
don't. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
So
It's-
it's these little like pieces of bread, and it's like this.
It's
like
rye
a-
cocktail bread.
It's like rye cocktail bread with like hamburger meat and a cheese mixture on top of it. And you can like my mom makes them and they're phenomenal. And you can literally eat like
Yeah.
46.
You make them in
of
like a baking dish.
Yeah.
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 They're phenomenal.
Imagine
They're
you're eating cheeseburger hamburger helper, and that's on cocktail bread. That's what Hanky Panks tastes
I
like.
like that. This is
Um,
this is one of the
Great.
drafts where I feel like I think everyone kind of crushed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
think
nailed
what
it.
we're finding out here is there's a lot of good food to eat.
Yeah, we like food.
Tons
Go
of
figure.
options. If I was at a party and I walked up to one of the four of our selections and that was all that was there, I would stay.
Yeah.
And I would
Well,
eat,
you'll be at-
and I would eat my
You'll
face
likely
out.
be at my house, so you'll see most of this spread.
A BLT dip, also very good.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
BLT dip
Maybe like a French onion dip.
or cookie dough dip. If you want something sweet,
Dips are definitely
like it.
highly, they're
They must
there
haves.
on Super Bowls. Yeah.
must have.
So we're
Yeah.
doing, and I know I told you guys this, but just for anyone else who's listening. So, we from the beginning of the playoffs, I sold my wife on having a Super Bowl party by saying, "Hey, why she sold herself? She's like, oh, I'll just do, whatever the two cities are as meals for the Super Bowl. Who's going to be in it?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out. And like we were watching, like I'm literally on Sunday yelling while she's in the other room. And I'm just like, the cheesesteaks are up 14-0. Like,
So you got what you wanted. You got
I
cheesesteaks
got
and ribs.
cheesesteaks from the beginning. Selfishly,
You wanted buffalo.
I
Yeah.
wanted buffalo for. Hey,
Yeah.
what was the number one pick?
Sure.
A Cincinnati, homer pick for me would have
barbecue.
been the Skyline dip with
You
the
could-
cream cheese. and
Skyline dip is very good. You can also do you could barbecue wings, Aaron. You could
That is true.
you
You
could
smoke
barbecue
them?
wings. Yeah.
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 absolutely.
Oh yeah. There's a smoked wing done correctly.
smoked
is-
or baked.
Slow cooked.
Yeah.
You could do a slow cooker
Good way
of
to
some
do it,
wings.
guys. That might be the.
Yeah. You can get
You
them
just
in
got to
there.
get
I'm
some
looking
case.
for
You got to get some KC barbecue sauce. Though that's a very specific type of sauce.
Yeah, the
you gotta
problem
put
is
on
the
there.
KC
KC
barbecue sauce is not
masterpiece,
my
baby.
favorite. It's like
Mm-mm.
sweet and
it's too sweet.
I like my barbecue sauce on the smokier side. Believe it or not, I'm a big fan of like the golden barbecue, like the Carolina Gold. Love that. Otherwise, I'd much prefer a Memphis or a Texas barbecue. It has a lot more smoke, little mesquite to it. Yeah, a little heat. I feel like Kansas City's is just like ketchup, sugar, barbecue sauce.
Yeah, it's sweet. That's a sweet sauce.
Absolutely is. Absolutely.
No offense, we all love Kansas City and barbecue sauce, or I mean Kansas City barbecue, but it's just I love barbecue. It's just probably on my lower side.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Mystery coming in saying this probably sounds like an excuse. My trash collector is calling. There's a thing. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Mystery.
All right, thanks, Mystery.
If that's what you enjoy your evening,
Mystery.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
We'll see you. We still got 2 weeks before. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we still have an episode next week, so we'll see you before then. All right, I mean that wraps it up.
Great
guys.
draft.
I mean,
Great job.
Boy, that's a
Quality.
draft, fellas.
Quality. Yeah, hats off. Well done.
Real quick, while you are all, I'm curious to hear all of your answer to this. While you guys are all enjoying this amazing spread you've put together for yourself, what's in the left hand, right hand, drink wise? What do you guys have in your house? Because it's a day affair.
Beer.
Yeah,
I'm drinking beer. I mean, I like a cocktail, but I'm more of a beer drinker than a cocktail because if I start, just one drink and I'm rummaging waitresses for the tips so I can get me a fix, So I like to stick to the beer, keep a little bit more of a level head, and just a little, I'm using the bathroom a lot more, but I hurt less in the morning, so I'm going beer.
Well, I'm telling you right now, nobody. I can tell you who has the smallest bladder on this panel, and it's Todd Gottschall.
I do.
It's just a fact.
Well, he also
drinks
literally 18 beers every time he watches football.
Yes, in his defense, he does absolutely put in work. But no, I mean, yeah, Corey, you hit the nail on the head. We're going for longevity here. This is a day of drinking, not an evening of drinking.
Not Aaron. I can already see his. I know that fucking look. I can see it in Aaron's eyes. Like, I'm getting fucked up. He's like, I'm.
Well, I took Monday off. So
exactly.
The move is a little brown liquor around halftime.
Yeah, you're doing Bloody Marys to start your day.
Bloody Marys start the day. Some light beers to keep it going.
Not a Bloody Mary guy over here. I love vodka. It's the tomato juice and.
No, I get you. It's a heartburn waiting to happen. I get it.
The good thing about a Bloody Mary is it's like not like a mimosa that you're going to suck down because it's sweet and good. It kind of forces you to pace while you're also like getting rid of a hangover slowly, if that's the case, or it's kind of like a meal in itself. I can't tell you how many times at BG I'd roll out of bed at 12:30 on a Sunday, go to Quarters, and for breakfast I would get the Bloody Mary bar. No, but I just get the Bloody Mary bar. I guess 6 beef sticks is my breakfast.
Yeah, bacon and some celery. I have vegetables today. Yeah, Aaron and I went through a phase in college. We went through a Bloody Mary phase in college where we had Zing Zang in the house at all time. Like it would be like 4 p.m. and you're like, want a bloody? I'm like, all right, yeah, fuck it, let's go. And that's just how we would start our pre-gaming.
Dude, before I started drinking alcohol, I would drink just Bloody Mary mix because I was like, this spicy tomato juice is delicious. That's who I am as a person. What is Todd, Bobby? What's your guys' drinks?
So are you talking about Super Bowl Sunday or just
Super Bowl? Yeah, obviously Sunday.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be some form of light beer. I'm going for longevity here. I'm going for something I can pound, something I can drink 18 to 20 of. And it's going to be a PBR or Bud Light, something in that realm. And Miller Lite. I don't hate on any light beer. Miller Lite's not my first choice. I'd go PBR. Bud Light's probably what I would do. Don't get me wrong. I am completely down for the brown liquor at halftime. A little whiskey, some Weller or Angel's Envy, or something to get the juices flowing. I imagine there's probably going to be some form of Jello shots at some point throughout this evening.
If it has anything to do with your significant other, there will be Jello shots.
Yeah. There will be Jello shots, and we will not remember.
See, I don't ever take a Jello shot and then I'm like, I'm fucked up now. Like that just doesn't happen. It's
Yeah,
more of
it's
the
like this-
event.
it's-
It's like,
yeah.
hey,
Well,
let's take a Jello
It's
shot.
it's the 15 beers, the 7 shots of Fireball, and the 10
Yeah, no.
Jello shots.
They're the
Can you-
they're
I
the
can't
edibles
drink
of booze. When
Fireball.
you're like, those Jello shots ain't shit.
2
And it's
hours
2:30.
later.
Yeah.
I shoot Fireball every weekend. That's a significant other.
Do
and
you
friend's
really?
drink of shot of choice?
Oh my God.
Boy, New Year's Eve was an event.
You're a warrior. I can't drink
Mary,
that
so
stuff, man.
that was the takeaway from waking up after New Year's. Is Mary's like, I barely drank any White Claw. So yeah, because we between 5 people, we drank a whole fucking handle of Fireball. So yeah,
Is he
It's
getting
easy to just-
Fireball right now? Oh, he's getting a couple of brewskis. Okay, I thought he was grabbing some Fireball. I was like, this guy is a fucking train.
brave man, brave man.
Beautiful.
We're all talking about
But-
it. I was like, I'm about to get up and grab a little something.
Yeah, good for you guys.
But I'm also a beer guy. Jaden asked a question here, and it sounds like it's. I mean, is it I don't know if it's a question or a challenge. Am I going to put away a whole rack on Super Bowl Sunday?
Mm,
If I get to start around like 1:00, maybe.
sure.
If I have the smorgasbord of snacks that we've selected this evening, then I'll get pretty damn close.
Yeah.
That's what gets me though, is that I'll start, like first week of playoffs, the games start at what, 1:00, 2:00, somewhere in that ballpark. And you crack a beer. Next thing you know, you drink 3 beers in the first quarter and you're like, what if I can keep this pace for the whole game? Next thing you know, you've had 16 or 17 beers. You're like, boy, I'm starving. And then it's like you didn't even drink a beer.
Oh,
You
the
had
chili.
16 beers before any food. You're like, now I'm hungry.
Yeah, no, I'll drink like 12 to 14 beers before I'll eat.
Yeah, he doesn't want to kill his buzz, Aaron. It's
Right.
science.
Jaden says I'm nuts because Fireball is nasty. Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying it's great.
He's just a good boyfriend.
See,
Dude.
I feel like I'm grazing the whole day.
Yeah, me
I,
too.
have a little,
Me
you
too.
know.
Veggie tray.
Oh no, this is
participate.
just green peppers.
It's half peer pressure, half because I'm just trying to get to where I need to be, and that helps me get there a little quicker. Fun fact about last weekend, we were partying with Fireball, and I went to play with the dogs on the floor, and then the next thing I know, it's 3:30 in the morning, and I wake up and I'm on the floor. And
Yeah.
the next morning, I say, "Hey, what happened last night?" And she's like, "Oh, you fell asleep on the floor. You're playing with the dogs, and you fell asleep." Like,
It's awesome.
sounds about
awesome.
right.
That's
I'm
a good
very
way to
clear.
do. It's a great way to fall asleep.
I can't hang like I used to, so I tuckered myself out playing with the pup.
Yeah, the dog's like, "Come on, dude, we were playing."
it was the most
Hey,
inopportune spot too. I literally fell asleep like right in the middle of like the walking path, so everybody had to step over me.
The dog's just like he used to be able to hang then. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. James College.
They don't call me the hallway slugger for nothing. So.
Beautiful.
Oh, man, that's a story for another time. That was gosh, bachelor party was fun.
Wonderful.
was
Wonderful
phenomenal.
I'm
day.
hungry, guys, and I'm gonna grab some bourbon because that's all we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got some Weller downstairs that I cracked last night. It was it's phenomenal.
We had some sporting news today, and unless you guys were living
No,
under
go
a
for it.
rock.
Let it rip.
The one, the only, the greatest of all time,
The goat. The legend.
Tom Brady, hanging it up
Mister,
for
I got more
real
rings,
this time.
almost more rings than I have fingers on my hands.
Yeah, more rings than any franchise in NFL history. Is the greatest. Tom Brady hanging it up, and it's kind of like the end of our childhood has happened right now. It's been confirmed. All of
Yeah,
our
we're now officially adults.
at 31 years old, 32 years old, we are now all officially adults, and it's weird, man, because like all the quarterbacks that we watched growing up, they're gone. They're officially
They're gone.
gone. Brady, I mean Rodgers, I guess hanging on there.
Rodgers and Matt Ryan are the last two.
Yeah, but I don't even really consider Matt Ryan like really my childhood. You know what
No,
I mean?
I
Like,
consider the Roethlisbergers, the Carson Palmers, Kurt Warner,
Sure.
Eli,
obviously
Peyton,
Peyton, Philip
Yeah,
Rivers,
Philip
like those
Rivers.
guys.
Yeah, all those guys are the childhood quarterbacks, and
And
Tom
Rodgers
Brady
is the
was
only one left. So
Yeah, Rodgers is the last one left, and he's almost kind of on the tail end of that too, because he obviously started after, but similar age, just a few years. But it's just weird. It's weird not knowing football without Tom Brady, because we've watched it for the last almost 2 decades now, and
Over 2 decades.
it's been
23 years.
23
years of Tom
years.
Brady that we've had.
Yeah, pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. I will.
So can I?
Yeah.
I want to give the Tom Brady stat line, because I think that this is where you obviously the culmination of a career. We 7 rings, right? 8 rings.
7
rings.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to give you some stats here that kind of get that it's the exclamation point to Brady. 7,753 completions on 12,050 attempts. That's a 64.3% completion percentage. 89,214 yards. 649 touchdowns with only 212 interceptions. That's an interception percentage of 1.8%. That's the lowest ever based on quantity of attempts and touchdowns. And countless MVPs, rings, whatever. Finishing his career with a QB or a quarterback rating of 97.2. Obviously, it doesn't hold his weight as much as it used to, but 97.2 that's pretty fucking incredible.
Over 23 years, that's stellar.
Yeah,
he's also played in more Super Bowls than any other player. He's played in more Super Bowls than anyone else. Obviously,
right.
He's won more Super Bowls than any other player or any other franchise.
Of the seasons he started at quarterback, he only missed the playoffs once.
Pretty amazing. He also won more than any other quarterback.
Well, he's won 1/8 of all Super Bowls.
Yep.
Nice.
That's insane. That is absolutely.
I literally did the math so I saw it. I was like, no, he didn't.
If there's ever any player in any sport, most sports you can argue there's an argument over who the greatest is. This is not a conversation that can even be had in the NFL. Like he is the greatest to ever set foot on a field. And
I agree.
I don't think there's anybody that can have a leg trying to argue anybody else.
So is this our Jordan moment then? And the reason I say it, like I know people will make the argument that he might not be our LeBron, or even some people will make the Kareem argument.
Caroline, thanks for liking the stream.
But in the moment, everyone going, "This is the greatest we'll ever see."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I just think 7's a really tough mark to beat. The only guy right now that I think has a shot is Mahomes.
Sure.
He's the only one young enough, talented enough.
Honestly, I think Mahomes has to win the Super Bowl this year to even have a shot.
That's fair to say, right? Every single time you get there, he has to pretty much win it, right? And
oh no, go ahead. Sorry, Corey.
I was just going to say the AFC is extremely competitive right now, and it's just going to be tough to. You got to think that the Bills are going to get better next year. They're a destination. People want to play at the Bills. The Bengals are going to get better next year. People want to play at the Bengals. The Chiefs are going to continue. I mean, as long as they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, you have to feel like that they're in a good spot. Travis Kelce also a big part of that. So, guys in stripes are good too. But you just gotta, continue to get there. And Mahomes is doing that this year. So I think he does need to win it if we're going to start having that conversation. And if he does, you can bet your sweet ass that Skip and Shannon are going to be talking about it for sure.
I mean, I agree with you that of the
thanks for putting a little Shannon on the skip there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, right. Of the players playing now, he's obviously the only one that even comes to mind as having a chance. Because he's already won one and he's been to 5 straight conference championships.
Yeah.
But can we just talk about the luck you need to even have to just play 7 consecutive seasons in the NFL?
Yeah.
Like that's the crazy thing to me is the amount of time that Tom Brady was able to do it. Because if there's even anyone that can contend at this, longevity is going to be a huge part of it. Like people were making the argument if Mahomes were to win the Super Bowl, even just doesn't, like, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer if he just decides to retire now? and I'm like, I don't know, maybe, probably, just because he's something we've never seen before, but not in the same way that most Hall of Famers get in by the merit of long, careers like that. And for Brady to do it for as long as he did, or people, I'm sure you've seen on Twitter breaking the stats apart of like the first half of his career was a Hall of Fame season, or like 3 different parts of his career were Hall of Fame seasons on their own. And I just don't think we'll ever see another Brady again.
You know what?
I hated him.
You know what? I didn't.
But I respected him.
I didn't. And I honestly, like, my brother was kind of like, was really into hip hop and liked the Raiders. And so when the Raiders played the Patriots in that AFC Championship game, the Tuck Rule game, I was rooting for the Raiders just because I wanted.
Everybody was.
And it was just fun to root for the Raiders, I think. But every time pretty much that they had played in the Super Bowl, I think I wanted to see him win because I wanted to see history. I wanted to witness that. My team had no shot at the time of even being there. And so even when he was with the Bucs, I was like, I want the Buccaneers to win. I want to see Tom Brady win 7 Super Bowls. That would be fucking cool. Right. And it's just, and we're going to talk about another guy that I think we should kind of feel this way about, here later in the show. But enough of the hate. When you're witnessing greatness, just enjoy it. Sports are meant to be enjoyed. And just enjoy what you're watching right now, because what we all got to watch for 23 years is, one, a statistical anomaly, of a shooting star, a Halley's Comet of sports, if you will. We were lucky enough to be born in the lifetime to be cognizant, understand, and care about football, to watch the greatest player to ever play the game, the greatest quarterback. Let me back that up. Greatest quarterback to ever play the game. And at a level that we might never see again. So enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, there was a long time where I was just like, man, fuck Tom Brady. Like, I'm tired of him winning. I'm tired of him just dominating the AFC every year. And then, as we all started, we all kind of went through it at the same time, started getting older, maturing, and realizing what we were watching. And it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah,
like it's time for us to actually appreciate what's like. I love that perspective, because it called me out on my shit too. Like I rooted against him in pretty much every Super Bowl except for the last one.
I will never forget.
I was the same way.
Yeah.
It was like he left the Patriots and he went from the AFC to the NFC, and he was kind of being funny on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, this guy's all right. Like,
right.
I like this guy. Honestly, I think it was the moment they went down in that Falcons game 28-3, because it was the first time in my lifetime since, when I was a kid, that he was the underdog again. And like, I was rooting for them to come back in that game because I was like, oh shit, are they going to do it?
The most
I'll never forget that game
you'll ever see.
I'll never forget it.
I know that we had a larger spread comeback this year, but that was the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that was the biggest moment on the biggest stage, and he pulled it off, and that cemented it in my mind. Like, this dude is untouchable.
I was in the best time zone for that game as well, because I lived.
You were in Utah at the time, right?
I was in Utah at the time, so the game was at 4:30. Dude, it was so good. 4:30 start time.
Yeah, you're smashed at 1.
7 o'clock. I'm obliterated because we were drinking bourbon the entire night and just deep frying wings, of course, one, and just obliterated by halftime. And then we're just like, I can't believe he's gonna lose. And then we're just watching it like, oh shit. And everybody became a fan at that point if you weren't already.
I would love to know the statistics of how many people turn that shit off. The difference in viewership, at halftime, like from the start of the game to halftime to the end of the game. I'd love to see like that bell curve on just the amount of people watching. Mystery coming with a comment here. Did you feel sorry for Tom Brady this season? And my answer is no. I think he should have stayed retired. I don't think this season accomplished anything for him professionally. He had already cemented himself as the greatest to ever do it. And he was coming back because he was scared of what life after football was. And it cost him a lot to come back and do that. And he did that on his own accord. And, that's a grown man, obviously older than us, making that decision. So no, I don't feel bad for him. I think he could have handled that situation much differently. But I think we got an extra season to see the greatest to ever do it. So I appreciated it, but it wasn't necessary.
I think it wasn't necessary. I did feel sorry though on some of the time. Like he was mic'd up a couple of times, and just he still cared a lot.
Yeah,
and it was kind of obvious to me that his teammates didn't have that. First of all, no one has that level of competitiveness that he has. But you could just kind of feel that he was just like trying to drag an organization along that was already ready for him to step out because, well, one, he kind of put that on himself by stepping out the door already, then trying to come back in, which you're not going to say no to him. He brought you a Super Bowl. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. You're going to say, yes, come back in. But it was kind of sad when he's there. Like, come on, guys, that's not going to cut it. We got to be better. And we can do this. We can do this. Just like pleading to his team. Like that resonated to me. Like I felt like I appreciated that. And it was kind of like, damn, dude, like
it was great to see him still care.
Like I could hear like Green Day in the back, another turning point. And it just like starts getting a little teary eyed,
Yeah, I mean, no, I agree with you, but at the end of the day, I think most of this season was kind of self-inflicted. Obviously, he had a lot of personal shit going on too, which I think impacted his performance. A lot.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys know you got personal shit going on. You go into the office. And
I haven't been divorced. I have no idea.
You know what I mean? Personal shit. Like it doesn't have to be divorce. You got personal shit going on. You go into the office and you're not on your A game. Yeah. And the football field is his office. And obviously when it comes to your wife and your kids, that's another level. And I mean, you can definitely see it impacted him, in all aspects of his life this season. But I personally think he should it was perfect. It was great to see the send off last year, but I just don't think this year was necessary. So in that respect, I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Right. I think when it comes to these super competitors, though, we see this, right? I mean, like they're so highly competitive that they're almost going to wait too long to hang it up. Like Jordan coming back with the Wizards, right? Like nobody needed that other than the guy who it took everything in him to be the highest competitor ever, to be that championship level team or player. And I don't know that you can really give Brady that same level of Jordan coming back to the Wizards, because he basically went to the Bucks and won a Super Bowl, even though there wasn't that retirement in between. I mean, I think people even forget even like Kobe at the end, because he had that amazing last game against the Jazz where he put up like 60 plus points. But those 2 years leading into that, like he was kind of a shell of who he was. And these guys,
he was dealing with a ton of injuries too. Yeah,
right, exactly. But these guys who are like these mega winners, you basically have to pull their kneecaps off the field or floor because they don't know when to give it up.
Yeah, which brings me to it's a great segue for our next topic. If we're ready to go there, I know we're still on time.
Sure,
it is a great segue here, and I'm talking about another GOAT, in my opinion, LeBron James. In his 20th season, just 80 mere points away. I haven't seen it. Are they playing? If they're playing tonight,
89 points away.
89 points away from being the highest scorer of all time.
He's also 5th in the history for assists. He just passed.
He won't catch Stockton.
Stockton's at like 15K.
But the point I'm getting to, LeBron James is currently averaging over 30 points a game. He is in his 20th NBA season. The next highest person in terms of what they averaged points per game in their 20th NBA season is Kobe Bryant. He averaged somewhere around 18 points a game in his 20th season.
He's averaging what?
LeBron is averaging over 30. It is absolutely insane what LeBron James is doing right now, carrying an organization known as the Lakers that are actually kind of starting to click right now, which is crazy. With I think Anthony Davis got hurt. He got hurt. Anthony Davis is hurt again.
Yeah, he's
if I'm not
injured
mistaken. Shocker.
Yeah, you'll probably say it again this season.
Yeah, probably. But they're starting to click better, right, than they did in the previous season. The bar wasn't set very high, but I think we get caught up looking or talking about this greatest of all time, and we're talking about Jordan or LeBron or Kareem gets tossed in there, and who's the greatest ever. And can we just appreciate fucking LeBron James, please? Can we just appreciate what this guy has done in his entire career? We're looking at a guy that was, if I'm not mistaken, raised in a single mother household. He was a millionaire before he was 19 years old, before he could legally buy a drink. He is now a billionaire. He has created schools, or a school for his hometown to help underprivileged people excel in life. And the entire time, you have never heard a single scandal. You have never heard any mishappenings off the court or involvements with the law. What you are seeing right now is not a degenerate gambler. What you're seeing right now is somebody, Aaron hiding behind LeBron James. What you're seeing right now is something that we might not ever see again, which is a perfect face of the league in LeBron James. He's phenomenal. He is absolutely phenomenal. And you can judge him about the way that he has handled different transitions in his career. You can judge him about his career choices with movies and all that bullshit. Let me be very clear. LeBron James never had a Phil Jackson. Okay? Eric Spoelstra ain't that, guys. He ain't. So if you want to critique about surround, yeah, neither is Kyle Lue, or go on and on and on. It just doesn't. It's not there.
Mike Brown.
Let's just enjoy what we've got in LeBron James and what we're seeing over the last, what are we looking at here, guys?
20?
About 20 years. 20 season. I just said it.
We've been watching him since he was 16, right? So that was 2000.
Fair enough.
He's been on ESPN every year since he was 15.
Insane.
That's it. That's the stat. Like it's unbelievable to think that not only have we watched a player grow, right, just as the athlete, as we have LeBron over the last 23, 24 years now, I think he has not only excelled at the NBA level throughout his entire career, through all of the transitions and the changes that the NBA has been through as well during the last 20 years, right? I mean, this game that he played in 2003, the style of the game that was played in 2003 is night and day different than the way that the game is played in 2023. It's a completely different style of basketball. And he's never averaged less than, I believe, 25 points a game. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a freak.
It's unbelievable.
Bobby.
Oh, thank you. My biggest point that I would ever make to anybody with LeBron, on my personal opinions on why I think he's the greatest to ever do it, it has nothing to do with rings. It has nothing to do with points. It has everything to do with the hype. I've never seen an athlete in my lifetime or in the history of sports that I've looked at and watched live up to the hype as much as LeBron has lived up to the hype.
What you're saying, let me put you a little bit of a Rosetta Stone here, because what you're saying is we knew who he was at the age of 16, and he has continued to be that. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yeah. So he's coming in. He's supposed to be the king, right? He's supposed to be the next generation of
King
basketball.
James. Yeah.
And he's done exactly that. He's in his 20th season. He's playing at a high level. He's still considered a top player in the NBA. Probably not the top at this point, but he's still in the conversation to be there. He's about to break the all-time scoring record. He's top 10 in assists. He's top 10 in multiple categories across the span of the league due to longevity, the way he takes care of his body. Corey, you mentioned it. He's never had any big scandals. Like, this is the perfect model of what you would want, for your city. Like Aaron, let's
get the Cleveland guy in here.
He brought Cleveland a championship, something they haven't seen, and
It was
I don't
50 plus years, Bob. Yeah, it was a long ass time.
Yeah, it's a long time, right? And
Lake Erie
you know,
Monsters fans
pe-
are up
people
in
can-
arms.
People can shit on him for the decision and his, the way that he handled going to
We
Miami.
did.
And everybody did, and whatever.
That's the thing is the one blemish on his career was for the Boys and Girls Club of America.
Yeah. Oh, darn.
right for charity. And
Like that's really what we're talking about.
yeah,
And obviously I love LeBron, man. He came back, won us a championship, and when he left the second time, everyone was like, "Hey, man, thanks. Anytime you want to stop by, just let us know. We'll have the couch ready for you." We appreciate that he came back and fulfilled his promise. Obviously, we were upset. It was the prodigal son of this area who, even after he left and went to Miami, and everybody in Cleveland, was burning jerseys and again, it's not probably a great idea to have your entire economy's backbone to be placed on a single movable piece. But yeah, hey, we got blindsided there. I think as a city, I think part of the reason this Cavs team right now that people are excited about is because this is the first time it's been since LeBron that you've seen any form of any kind of success.
Having a fantastic season.
Yeah, which is cool. It's cool to see a guy like Donovan Mitchell. He's the first all-star starter, outside of LeBron. Well, yeah, outside of LeBron.
Kyrie
Well, I'm saying since the LeBron era.
Okay.
Because even Kyrie wasn't an all-star starter when LeBron wasn't here. And I don't even think he was. Yeah, he was a starter one year.
Yeah.
But anyways, point being, I agree with you guys. I mean, the hate is ridiculous. And Bobby, you were saying it too, someone to meet the hype. It's not just sports. Take anybody who was famous before the age of 18.
Mhm.
That is never a successful thing. I know a bunch of stories of, I don't know. I always want to say Drew Barrymore, but somebody who is famous at such a very,
Macaulay
very
Culkin.
young, yeah,
Corey
Macaulay
Feldman.
Culkin. Yeah, exactly.
Justin Bieber.
Exactly. There's I don't know anyone who is living. And here's the thing: he could have had the career of I don't know, Dwight Howard, and I don't think it would have been seen as a not success. Not only was he who he thought he was when he was 16, he somehow got better than that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing to me, that don't let your hate not enjoy this moment, because he might not be the GOAT or the best player, ever, but he's the best player of your generation. If you're my age, that's for sure.
Yeah. So
I don't know how anybody could ever argue that. There's not anybody in any other league that I can think of, and I don't want to encompass everything, but we've never seen an athlete just floor. I mean, obviously, we just talked about Tom Brady doing it for 23 years, and it's football and basketball aren't parallels, but in our time of watching basketball, we've never watched somebody always be in the MVP conversation and get snubbed because you can't just give the guy the MVP every year.
Which,
right?
if it were truly who is the best player in the league, if that were truly the award, LeBron James would have
15 years in a row.
Yeah,
Right.
He would have a dozen MVP awards.
Yeah. So
Anything that can,
So I think that's the big conversation, right? And you're never going to convince somebody who grew up watching basketball in the 80s and 90s. You're never going to convince somebody that grew up watching basketball in the 70s and 80s. You're not going to be able to convince those people. But I agree with what the point being here is, you have to respect that this guy has been through the largest shift in basketball, where positions aren't defined anymore. It's the first time ever in basketball where you don't have a center, two guards out there, every position, and excel at every position.
Yeah.
So you can't dispute facts. You can't dispute statistics. And this guy hits all of the parameters of being, the guy that you talk about for a generation of the sport. And anybody that can argue that, all you have to do is just go to Pro Basketball Reference and just give them the stat line. That's it.
The guy's almost 40, and he goes out there and almost hits a triple-double every night he plays.
And it's what's funny is I think you kind of alluded to something there as to part of his greatness, and a lot of people I think attribute this to a little bit of like Dirk and Steph Curry, but honestly, I think it comes back to LeBron as well. Like, We don't have positions any longer. And when you look at LeBron, he is literally somebody that you could put anywhere on the court and your team's going to be better for it. Or is it the best that they could be? No, he should probably be in a 3 or, you flex to a 4, come up to a 2 or bring the ball. He can do anything. He could do anything on the
4. He can do it all. The 5 is the only position where there's
which is fine. It's because
but like he could probably be serviceable there. You know what I mean?
In a pit, like I've seen it.
Yes, exactly. That's what he can run a 5 for you if you need it. Like we got to run small. We're playing the Warriors. We got to run small. Okay,
right,
Bron, you're at the 5.
They would do that against the Warriors. Like,
yes,
exactly.
Exactly.
Match up Draymond. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Draymond's a bitch anyway. So
okay. So I'm taking this down a rabbit hole right now.
Please, I love this.
Is Draymond Green a Hall of Famer?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he is.
Begrudgingly, yes.
I think he's the most complete player in the league right now.
Right now?
I think Draymond Green might be one of the most complete players in the game.
Today.
Right, I'm gonna need
dude, I know I'm going.
Corey James, I'm gonna need you to. I need you to sweet tongue this. I need you to.
Corey, your first question, no doubt in my mind.
Hall of Famer, right?
So I don't think any of us are going to dispute that, but like most complete player. All right, let's hear it.
All right, that offense. While Steph Curry is the head of that offense, Draymond Green is the neck. Draymond Green turns the head. That offense requires Draymond Green to be a part of that offense. He facilitates the ball beautifully. He is an excellent passer, and he is a force to be reckoned with inside as well. Defensively, it's not. I mean, come on, guys. And that's where he makes his fucking money, is on the other side of the court. So just the fact that he can dish, he can score, and he can defend. There's not many other players in the league that can do all of those things that well. Draymond Green is one of the most complete players in the league right now. He's a heel. He gets too many technical fouls. He's way too emotional and stupid at times. Yes, but if I'm
the modern day Dennis Rodman,
I think he's better. But this is.
I would call him the
offensively, yeah, he's better. He's better offensively than Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, but modern day.
But
players today are asked to do different things than they are.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman didn't have to score 15 points a game. He just had to grab 20 rebounds.
He had to grab 20 boards and punch 3 people in the face.
So, I honestly I get why he's hated so much, and I kind of gravitate towards the heels a little bit. I have big Stone Cold guy versus The Rock. I always like Stone Cold a little bit more. Undertaker, love the Undertaker, but I kind of liked the bad guys a little bit. I kind of like a little bit of the edge that Draymond brings. Some of it, Lance Stevenson, perfect example. Loved the edge that Lance brought. Did he take it too far sometimes? Look stupid? Absolutely. Draymond does the same thing. But just in terms of literally, Draymond can do almost anything on the court. He can defend, he can facilitate the ball, and he can score. And when you have, what other aspects of the game are you really looking for? Stretch the floor? Not really. There are times when they play at the Cavs, and you're just like, what the fuck is this, Draymond? And he's just sinking threes in the finals. But I really just appreciate the basketball aspect that he brings to the game. There's a lot of other things that come tied with that. I can appreciate that. But in terms of complete game, Draymond Green it has to be up at the top of the list.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
I think 4 or 5 years ago, you're right.
Yeah,
I don't think
where
so
I'm
anymore.
going, Todd. Yeah, exactly.
I'm watching Memphis Grizzlies versus Golden State about 4 or 5 nights ago, and I'm witnessing it. I'm watching
he can flash it still, but he's
that's
just
fair.
not that guy.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's
he
fair.
was
That's
when
fair.
when they hit the three-peat. He was absolutely the biggest menace on the floor all the time.
He was an integral part of what they did. I mean, it was Curry and Thompson got a lot of love, in those series just because they're putting a ton of points on the board. But the basketball game, the beautiful thing about basketball is it's one on both sides of the floor. And you've got to have somebody that's going to be in the trenches, rebounding, blocking shots, boxing out, and he's a guy that's gonna he may not light up the stat sheet. God, I hate talking like this about Draymond. I fucking hate him. But
he's and mystery in the chat. He put it perfectly. He's a fucking jabroni, and he absolutely is.
Nobody
absolutely
likes Draymond,
except for he is Grayson Allen, but a Hall of Fame version.
No, I was gonna say, who he is? He's a rich man's Joakim Noah.
That's a fair point, but not. I think he's even a higher level.
Great passer though, too. Out of
he was. Well,
Joakim Noah.
Here's the thing for Draymond,
I think Joakim Noah had better range than Draymond.
No.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen Joakim Noah shoot free throws.
To your first point, Corey, is he a Hall of Famer? No fucking question.
Yeah.
Everybody makes the Hall of Fame in basketball. Everybody does.
Okay.
Anyone who's close. I was even curious to try to make sure that I had this point. 2021, Tony Kukoc.
Okay.
If that's just on rings alone, because he happened to be decent against a Michael Jordan.
I get it. I get that the standard, I guess, in the NBA versus the NFL is different. But I think if they were the same, Draymond still gets in.
Oh, I would too. In my head, he's still a first ballot, no doubter. He's one of those guys. And when your best player is Steph Curry, you need that Draymond Green, Bobby, like you were just saying. You need the enforcer, the guy in the trenches. Because on defense, you could wring out Steph Curry like a wet towel. You need that guy behind you who is going to do that, because I'm telling you, Steph
Curry's defense is the 30-foot threes that he makes.
100%, 100%. But Draymond Green's career, the entire time being on the Minnesota Timberwolves, is a not all-star.
Yeah. And I
if Ben Wallace is in Naismith, Draymond Green's in Naismith, right?
I would compare with Ben Wallace, Dennis Rodman. He's absolutely in that.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting perspective on a really niche player, or not. A niche fan player, right? Because you either love him 130% or you hate his fucking guts.
I think most people hate him.
Bruce Bowen would be his.
I think most people hate him. I don't think there's many unless you're
a Warriors fan.
Yeah,
you're not a
or
Draymond
Michigan State.
fan.
Yeah.
And a lot of Warriors fans don't like Draymond Green because he is he's a bad teammate. He's a bad off the floor teammate. He's a good on the floor teammate because of the things that he's able to do, but he's not. He does it. So here's my thing about Draymond Green, and I think it's an interesting perspective, and I hear where you're coming from. He doesn't play the. He's just not today's basketball player to me.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And I think that I understand where you're coming from, right? Because we grew up with a lot of guys that did stuff like that, right? Like the Charles Barkleys and the Tim Duncans and the Hakeem Olajuwons, the guys that did everything really well and things were able to move through them. So it's really rare to find a guy that's above average and checks all the boxes at being above average of everything.
Yeah.
So I understand your perspective of it. I think it's just a tough pill to swallow because everybody just hates his guts.
Yeah.
But if you look at his stat line, it's a fair perspective because he's a guy that also, I believe, has over 15 triple doubles. And there's something to be said about that. I mean, obviously, you have guys in the league like Russ who just, dropped 40 in a season because he was on the Thunder, but
his teammates are evacuating the paint to allow him to get more rebounds.
Yeah. But I think that stat line is a little bit
bullshit.
Skewed. Right.
Yeah, so James Harden stat line.
But who was Draymond Green guarding on every team? He's guarding the best player. He still does.
Yeah.
I was going to say, to me, he's exactly the perfect modern player of those old guys that we saw. He's like the perfect hybrid because
I was going to say, like a 4-5-3.
He's like a 6'8" center. That's not.
He's like a 6'6"
he
center.
Right. But it's the fact that he's able to guard these guys on defense and allow the Warriors to play. Because during that run between the Warriors and the Cavs, the best weapon that the Warriors had was that death lineup, the small ball lineup, because they made you play defense against their guys because Draymond Green could hold down the 5 position with any center you threw on the court.
Well, that and one of the most,
and I can't believe I'm defending Draymond.
Mystery coming in with a comment here. when we remember the greats of this era, Draymond Green will not be one of them. I don't know if we won't remember him, but he's.
I mean, I will.
Every
You'll
time
remember
people talk
People
about
will
Jordan, they bring
continue
up
to talk
Rodman.
about him.
Right. I mean, he'll be in the conversation because he's linked with Steph and the Warriors. So I mean, I think he'll be in the conversation, but I don't think he's going to come top of mind as one of the greats of the era.
That's
but
not what
he'll
I'm
be,
saying.
But he'll be in the conversation because he
And that's
was,
not
He'll be
what
a
I was
first
saying.
ballot Hall of Famer
because
for
he
sure.
was a part of it. And I think that's kind of what we're alluding to. We're not saying he's one of the greats of the area.
Right.
We're just saying that he will be in the conversation.
No, my first
because of
point
who he's
was
associated with.
he's the most complete player. Is what I mean. Is he can do anything you need done on the court. You know.
I mean,
You
again,
need-
it's LeBron or
yeah,
yeah, right?
yes, I get that. I'm putting another name out there that we don't really talk about enough. You know,
I think Jason Tatum fits
It's
into
not
that
more,
category
yeah,
as well.
Giannis.
except for in the playoffs.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean the
Embiid.
big thought that I had when
Luka.
Ty was mentioning that exactly.
Luka, I think Draymond is infinitely a better defender than Luka.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were just talking about filling the statue. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
At three levels.
but no, I mean the one thing that made that Warriors three-peat team so great was the fact that they could play that small ball but still have that big presence.
He plays
And
6 inches
because
taller
you
than he is.
Because you had to play at the Warriors' pace, or it was you play at their pace and you get run over, or you don't play at their pace and you get fucking shit on. It didn't matter. You had to play at their pace and keep up, or that was it.
It was their
Yeah.
third quarters. Their
100%.
third
Yeah.
quarters.
Their third quarter.
Oh my
was
God.
murder,
And that's exactly what made that roster so effective was because
Come out
they
of
were-
halftime and
because
we're gonna drop
Draymond, he
60.
could play big, but they could move fast and they could play with pace. And there weren't. I mean, there's not a lot of rosters in the league that were built that way. You had your bigs, you had your classic lineups, and the Warriors were kind of ahead of their time and had a guy kind of like like the Tampa 2, like that had never been seen before when Tampa won their Super Bowl. It was just something you hadn't seen before, and you either had to keep up with it or you couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And Golden State was kind of ahead of their time in that respect with that kind of lineup and being able
In
to
a
move
weak
that
West.
quick and play with pace and in a weak
They took
Western
advantage. They
Conference.
took advantage of the Western Conference being
I mean,
kind of
Yeah, but they
upside down.
force you. I mean, you guys they forced you to play their game, and
Yeah.
and Draymond Green was that chess piece. It was basically like we're starting white every time.
you had to have Derek Brooks,
you know,
to make the Tampa 2 work,
yeah,
and you
Right.
had to have Draymond to make that work, and that's what makes him a Hall of Famer.
Fair.
Yeah.
God, I hate
Absolutely.
saying that.
No, that's
I do
awesome.
too.
That was a good
Corey got
conversation,
me
though.
To admit that I do, but everyone's got that player, right? Like for the Cavs, when we had Dellavedova or Andy
Dele,
Varejao, I was like, I know everyone hates this guy. I fucking love this guy.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
James Varejao.
Yeah,
I love watching that dude on the floor. He was a
That
menace.
dude gave 110%, like Brendan Fraser.
All right, I've got another polarizing topic here for tonight.
Let's hear it.
Babe Ruth is not one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
Ooh, okay.
He is.
If you take here, let me redact. Babe Ruth would be a AAA baseball player if he played baseball today.
Well, shit, Bob Cousy would be a
Yeah, I
G
was
League
gonna
basketball
say.
player in the NBA now.
The
Right?
NBA wasn't even around.
Jerry West would be.
Yeah, Jerry West wouldn't be anything. I think really the only older cat that probably could have stuck with everybody is probably like
Pistol Pete.
Pistol Pete.
Yeah.
Pistol
Bob
Pete
Pettit.
or like a Wilt Chamberlain type. Like
Bill Russell would probably be like a role.
Bill
player.
Russell.
Yeah, a 6'10" power forward that can't move
Yeah.
the floor. He would be a guy that would be on the floor for
Yeah,
18 minutes.
I mean that.
Hey, Bill, way to get those 2
that
blocks. Grab some pie.
Your argument, Corey, in my opinion, is invalid because the evolution of the game from that time span is just a much different game.
It's
And you can't make that argument. Like
Well,
in that time frame, with what he was able to do, could you imagine like the game back then with the level of quality of baseballs that they play with now? Babe Ruth would have had over 1,000 home runs. They were playing with these.
Oh, what you-
inflation, and I don't disagree because
I do.
No. But here's the thing.
Because there's a
People-
reason those balls have been adjusted.
I don't think anybody now will break Babe Ruth's record home run wise. When you look at longevity of careers, obviously Hank Aaron did it, Bonds did it. What I'm saying is, even Albert Pujols is retiring, did not get to that benchmark. Take the ratio of home runs in that time, and Babe Ruth is like 89% of all home runs. That's the point, is there was nobody doing it at that level. The next closest guys around that time were like, hey, I hit 7 this year. That was pretty cool. Like, imagine playing the Polo Grounds where deep center is like 535.
Right. Yeah, he took. So Babe Ruth was actually somebody who took advantage of having a stadium where right field was small, right? Because old Yankee Stadium, new Yankee Stadium, they're built to similar parameters. Babe Ruth had a 315-foot fence in right field that he had to hit the ball over. And statistically, so he hit 714 home runs. I think the numbers around like 82% of them were hit between right and right field and right center field.
Here's what I mean. It would be a lot easier. It would be a lot easier to find there would be multiple Babe Ruths today if everything else were the same as it was back then.
Hot dogs are still delicious.
Yeah, there would be multiple Babe Ruths. Is what I'm trying to say. If everything were exactly the way it were,
Joey Gallo would be Babe Ruth, and if he were implanted back into
Babe Ruth is who he is because of when he played the game, not because of how good he was. That's my point.
I think you make that argument in a bunch of different sports.
Sure, but I'm making it right now about Babe Ruth, and that's.
I think there's a line of like 1984.
Look at access to what my point is: access to the game, quality of competition, et cetera, et cetera.
Because baseball players were still selling cars.
Just change access to the game, right? Just change access to being able to play baseball. Babe Ruth is not even. I think he's another guy.
I can't put my brain to think that way.
So
I know.
Mystery, I know because you love history baseball.
Mystery, I understand your comment. It says Mystery saying Babe would not make any team today. No, no kidding.
No, they wouldn't put up with this
shit. It's the baseball that is played
six
today.
Hot dogs at the turn, guy.
You guys have to realize Babe Ruth was playing baseball 100 years ago.
No, I understand
100.
That. Yeah, but
you know how much shit's changed in 100 years?
Dan Vogelbach, Babe Ruth is Dan Vogelbach, right?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with any of these points. It's just what he did in his the fact that his stats are still here today. Because I agree with you, because they're number stats. If they were like average, like a batting average stat would be like Ted Williams, for instance. I think that's a hotter debate.
Oh, no one's touching
him hitting 400.
Well, right, because who the hell could hit 400 nowadays? But those are two different levels of how we value.
Yeah, I mean,
go fight World War II and come back and hit 400.
Hey, Bob Feller. Trust me, I get it, guy.
Cy Young. Yeah, look,
it's an impossible argument.
Well, it's not impossible because I think you could have a conversation. You could try to create the parallels, but at the end of the day, it's number one for me, and I'm going to say it's really hard for me to try to separate that. You take out anything you know about baseball and how much has changed even in the last 7 years, and try to think about a guy from a time where, I mean, the game of baseball has had over 100 amendments to just the way that it's played since Babe Ruth first started playing the game. So, yeah, it's fun to think about, a guy who didn't have to deal with, I don't know, social media or strength training or any of the things that guys have to think about now to play the game, because that was just a job. Babe Ruth was the first person ever in the history of baseball to be publicized as an athlete.
Yeah.
There was nobody else that had ever Cy Young had to go back and work on a fucking farm after he won 600 baseball games, 500 baseball games, right? Like it's like saying, it's like having the conversation of like, well, if Bill Russell was playing now, he wouldn't. We said it, he'd be a sixth man off the bench. Sure, it's fun to think about it, but you just there's too many.
God,
it's like just skipping time. You know what I mean? Like
Todd, please, you're 100% right. We want to time travel one way, but we won't go the other way. Can you imagine taking Mike Trout now and sending him back there, where the only way to consume baseball was either going to the game or reading it in the paper, and they go, "This guy's fucking hurt again." And not like having the analytic boys being like, this guy's really fucking good. You're like, I don't know, can't stay healthy. Fuck that guy. Like that would be the only way you can consume.
Yeah, they leave him dead. They leave him dead to pasture. Yeah, absolutely. So would guys like, I don't know, Bryce Harper or Trevor Bauer. Davis? Yeah, like
anyone not white. I'm sorry to say it, but we got to talk about that
true.
Too.
Yeah, but just think about like let's think about kind of a niche player that we can all. Let's talk about a guy like Travis Hafner, for example, right? Because we all remember Travis Hafner. We all remember what he did for baseball in the mid 2000s. If he played in 1920, he would also have 800 home runs.
Yeah,
that's my point.
Well, because he could work on the farm.
Yeah,
that's my point.
Right.
Like that's what I'm trying
Willie
to.
Butler would hit 800 home runs.
I
follow what your point is.
I think if Hank Aaron grew up in that time and was allowed to play, he'd hit 1,000.
Sure,
that's my point. That's my point. That's my.
But that's the beautiful thing about time is there's no travel. It's kind of.
Well, not yet, Bob. But there's
I can't wait to go back and fucking 1924 and go up to
Babe Ruth. Fuck in 1924? That's a risky move.
It's
not a lot of antibiotics around then, Todd.
Hey, win some, you lose some.
Not a lot of ladies giving it up unless you're marrying.
So
not true. Boy, you don't know anything about prohibition then.
Yeah. The flappers, Bobby. Whoo.
They had brothels in New York City back then. That's what I'm going back for.
Yeah, oldest profession. That's right. Who was Jesus's girlfriend? We'll talk about that. But what I'm just trying to say.
That's a podcast.
All right, gone off the rails.
That's what we do, man. That's what I do. I stir the pot here, and yeah, that was my whole point is to just do that, and I'm glad I was able to accomplish that. So I appreciate you entertaining me.
Would Gordie Howe be able to play in today's hockey?
Yeah, he was a two-way player. He's probably the only two-way player. Gretzky, not a two-way player. Ovechkin, not a two-way player. Gordie Howe is one of the best defending hockey players of all time as well as offensive. So, yes.
Okay. All right. Love it.
Mr. Hockey, man. You don't get the name Mr. Hockey, just by being some scrub.
I just only know him from The Simpsons. That's it. That's my hockey reference.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, mystery to your comment, there were a lot of players that did not uphold the norms of society.
Ty Cobb killed a guy.
Yeah, I mean,
so Ray Lewis
literally murdered a guy at a bar.
Ty Cobb literally killed somebody. So, I mean, there's a lot of, social media in itself would have changed the entire landscape of professional
sports.
Where's
the suit, Ray? Where's the suit?
I can't imagine what life would be like if social media has been around for 100 years. It's only been around, realistically for about 15.
We're fucked. Let's just be honest. We're fucked. We're fucked. We're so fucked.
It's only going to get worse. So, I mean,
look what we're doing right now.
Right. Can you imagine they had podcasts back in the 1920s? Oh my God. Did you hear what Babe Ruth did today?
The price of wheat is up 3%. Abysmal.
I like that they have all of this.
Why are the radio broadcasters British?
Yeah, right. But all these voices from I don't know.
Oh, here Henry O'Flanagan coming to you live.
That's the one. That's the old timey. Yeah, just Benny Hill music
with
and
another hooker in his trunk today.
Ty Cobb punched a man in the face.
That's a good hit 2 home runs.
Dude, Bobby,
he only went 3 for 4 in today's outing versus the Red Sox.
This is a phenomenal 1930s voice that you're crushing this right now. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
It's Henry O'Flanagan. It's one of my people that I do impression wise. He's just an announcer from.
It's
He's been
phenomenal.
around since at least like 2011.
He's still
Yeah,
alive.
He's been around for a while. Yeah, over 100 years. And Henry O'Flanagan is a core piece of my
Your repertoire.
my repertoire. Absolutely.
I love that.
Drunk Henry Flanagan is my favorite.
It's another level. It's another level. Well, we might
That's a
have to
good
bring
one.
it. We might have to bring him out one of these days.
Beautiful.
All right. What else do we have tonight, guys?
Yeah, I think that's a podcast.
That's it.
fellas. We got into the muck.
We did some good shit tonight.
Yeah.
See what happens
That's
when we don't have to break down fucking Panthers Falcons. You know.
That was nice.
Yeah, they both suck, but I'm going to talk about it for a long time.
Yeah.
I know one thing we didn't get into. I don't know if
The
you guys
games.
want to touch on it.
Go
Or the
for it.
games.
Oh God, yeah. We didn't even talk about the conference championship. shit.
I mean, I almost regret bringing it up now. But at this point, it's kind of let's just
I'm about a bottle of wine deep, so go ahead.
let's dive in and get there. Obviously, the first game in that set last week was
Joke.
not much to watch.
Joke.
It sucks.
Absolute fucking joke.
Brock Purdy went out early, and it was just a steamroll from that point. Eagles look phenomenal, but
Did they?
they're playing the
They did,
absolutely
though.
disheveled
Yeah,
49ers.
exactly. Yeah, they're playing a fucking
And
college
so
team.
it kind of
The
take
defense was okay. Just like after McCaffrey got that touchdown, and it was like, all right, it's a tie game. And the Eagles took a little bit to get back on, but you knew the Niners weren't really going to be able to score again.
There was no
I
way.
mean, you bring in Josh Johnson as your fourth string quarterback, and then he goes out, and then you bring in McCaffrey / Juszczyk as your fifth string quarterback, and
Brock was out there as a decoy because they're like, he might throw, and you're like,
Yeah,
he
I mean,
hasn't.
the
And then
Niners
2 days-
really no plan of offense after. I mean, you can't even blame.
What are you
them.
there
supposed to
isn't.
do? Yeah.
There isn't in the
What the fuck are
NFL.
they
You can't
supposed
run the
to do?
triple option.
I mean, McCaffrey threw a pass, and it was an absolute fucking nightmare.
Can I just say that, but Brock Purdy went out there with a completely torn UCL, completely torn,
he threw a
and
couple
was-
passes.
and was still
Short.
hitting 7-yard bullets. But-
Short. They were like,
But could
line
you
is
do
clear.
that?
Yeah, I wish I could give credit to this, but I forgot who said it. But if I told you that Brock Purdy would start and finish that game,
That was Al Michaels that said that.
not throw an incompletion, and the 49ers would lose by 30 plus. Like, what the hell would you think happened in that game? Like, that is just
Yeah.
bananas. You'll
Yeah.
never see that again.
Finish the game, no incompletions, and lose by 24 points.
I feel bad for the kid. I mean, I feel bad for the guys like
Whatever.
George Kittle. I mean, all
A
week.
millionaire.
I mean, yeah.
Brock Purdy,
But I mean,
Mr.
but still, I mean,
Irrelevant, is he gonna get-
at the heart, I mean, you're still a
His
competitor.
service, he's just bought himself 6 more years in the league.
he's a year away now from playing with that injury that came out.
Yeah. I
Cool.
mean, he's debating surgery, and
He did earn it. But now we were talking about,
He's a football player for the rest
well,
of his
now
life.
you know what the 49ers are going to do. Brady retired and Trey Lance is your back. Trey Lance, your quarterback.
Yeah, and they've already come out and say Shanahan already came out and say that Jimmy G will go to another team this offseason.
Yeah, they
You're not
tried
going.
to
You're
do
you're
this
going
with
to try.
Lance.
You're riding with Trey Lance, absolutely, and you should.
yeah, I mean, and then you have Brock Purdy as trade bait just to beef up that team.
Yeah, I'm just saying if that
You
injury
don't get him for a
happened in
year
that
now,
game,
right?
Brock Purdy probably is your
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they're trading him this offseason, but I'm saying in the future
No.
that you have somebody that you can dish out and get some
You-
value for because
think-
he's proved that he can play.
I think he's under what is he making like a 750 million or 750,000 right now? What is he?
He's
what
making
is-
more than
I
Mahomes. Yep, 100%. I think that's accurate.
I'm going to pull it up right now. Brock Purdy's contract, 4-year, $3.7 million. So yeah, $77,000 signing bonus. Next year in 2023, Brock Purdy is an $889,000 cap hit. It's a fucking drop in the bucket. You
Yeah.
keep him under contract, absolutely.
Yeah,
You
you're gonna-
invest in Trey Lance. You allow Brock Purdy to continue to develop because we didn't see shit out of Brock Purdy. Like, he's serviceable. He went on a fucking, he won 7 games in a row. Like, you continue to allow that to go on, but you've invested 3 first-round draft picks into Trey Lance. You have to pour everything
Trey
into
Lance
that.
is going to be the
Yeah, but
starter.
your hand just got forced. I don't think they would have. I think they would have stuck with Brock if he got him to the Super Bowl.
if
I'm saying if that injury does not happen,
they didn't
in
do
that game,
here, let me put it to you this way: they didn't do it with Jimmy. They went to the NFC Championship game, were this close to winning it, and they didn't do it with Jimmy. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Jimmy G had a lot more money under the bank. I don't know.
And they kept him and
Yeah,
paid
I
him
mean,
that money.
It's going to be
They
interesting
tried
to see
to.
the way. It's going to be interesting to see the way that it goes. Obviously, that game's not really the big one to talk about here.
Hold on. Before we move on, Eagles fans, sus or not sus? Storming the fucking city, climbing the poles, breaking fucking bus structures from the sheer weight of your whiz-filled bodies over an NFC championship when you had won a Super Bowl 3-4 years ago.
5 years ago.
5 years
2018.
ago, you won a Super Bowl, and you're like, fucking Ben Franklin's reincarnated, fucking go, and they just ravaged the entire city over an NFC championship. Is that sus?
That's Philadelphia sports.
It definitely brings into some questions on what's happening in Philly.
Come on, be better.
Act
like
yeah.
you've been there.
Yeah, my point exactly.
That's exactly what I would have said if they didn't just win the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Act
That's
like you've
the
been there.
wild part.
Yeah, you just won it. Like, chill out. Win the Super Bowl? Yes, go for it. But you've been there a lot of times, actually.
Just going. I don't think it equates to the
Cincinnati
level of
would never. Would never.
Maybe. I mean, you guys haven't really been there in our lifetime, so I would. I'm not saying
last year, Bobby.
I think you.
I mean winning.
We just went to the Super Bowl last year.
I mean winning.
But I'm talking about celebrating a conference championship.
Oh yeah, no, it's not gonna happen.
It's over the top. Over the top.
Yeah, it's 100%
Yeah, I
over
could
the
see
top.
Browns fans doing it, but not that way. Not like breaking shit. Like even when the Cavs won the championship, everyone just climbed on top of like a fire truck. But like we're chill about it. Like we don't break it. But
We
this
respect
is pretty cool.
This is Cleveland
This
too.
is property.
This is Cleveland too.
All right, well, let's get to the game this weekend. That obviously, one brought the most controversy. Two was the better game of the two, and Chiefs Bengals in Arrowhead. We're getting some sinister vibes from Mr. James.
If you're not watching, Corey is huddled around a candle in the dark.
Yes, it literally is. He turned off the light. There's a candle, and you just see his face.
He's singing Simon and Garfunkel. If that's just
to paint the picture.
It's the Disturbed cover. Oh, silence.
And couple takeaways. I'll start. I'm a Steelers fan. I'll let Aaron follow. He's a Browns fan. We'll let the two Bengals fans on this 4-man panel get into it. One, it was a great game. It was close pretty much the whole way. Was a little shocked out of the gates that the Bengals were a little bit slow because they're typically a pretty fast team out of the gate. I think the Bengals had plenty of opportunities to win this game, and there were a couple suspect, moments in the game where I would have probably done something a little bit different if I was the coach, especially on that, late in the game, Mixon runs for about 6 or 7, 2nd and 3. We take the Bengals take 2 long shots. One of the third down play turns into a pick, which is basically a punt. I think you try to get that first down and keep driving and take some time off the clock. I think that's the biggest play that doesn't involve the Zebras. Outside of that, they're obviously that gigantic shift in momentum on that third down play when KC runs the play. Both teams are walking off the field. It's 4th down, and they have to redo it. Probably the biggest and most talked about moment in this game, which had the entire NFL world spinning on why the fuck that happened. and poor officiating. There's obviously a ton of missed calls. I know Todd and Corey will get into the missed calls, but we're not gonna cheapen this moment and say that officiating completely dictated the outcome of this game, because that kind of, in my opinion, takes away from what the Bengals accomplished this season. I think they still had their opportunities to win this game, but definitely some big moments that were changed because of officiating. I can completely agree with that. Aaron, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit a lot of the points that I agreed with as a fan of football watching that game, because certainly, and again, last week I wasn't hiding it. Like I certainly wasn't rooting for the Bengals. I'm not rooting for a divisional opponent, right, to go to the Super Bowl. But in our group text, there were moments where I certainly was like, hey, this is, I can understand your frustration. I don't think this is a NFL against the Bengals problem. I think this is the NFL officiating problem that we have seen all year. And I think it's unfortunate, that it was very evident on Sunday, and not just this game, in the other game as well.
Yep.
Although I don't think we're talking about that, because there was no earthly shot that the 49ers could have won that game because of the injuries that occurred in it. I think the NFL has an officiating problem because of there are more and more people invested in these games, not just from a fan perspective, but now from a wallet perspective, as you see legalized gambling in a lot of states coming about. This is a real problem for the NFL when your best assets are getting better compensation to talk about it rather than rule on it. And I think you've seen that. So I'll take a step back and say, Bengals fans, I hear your grief. I empathize with it, because I feel like I see this every week. But I'll also ask you to take a step back and say, every fan base thinks they get screwed by the officials. That's just an inherent bias that you have to accept when it comes to football. There were a lot of moments in that game that, even as a, no skin in the game, was, I thought, questionable. But then after seeing some things after the, even like the redo the third down, that's a really shitty thing to happen. And I'm not trying to even defend it, because again, if I was on the side of that, I would think that's the shittiest thing I've ever seen in my life. But I've also seen weirder things on the football field from the officiating side. And the Bengals had their chances at the end of the game to win this. So yeah, I understand it from a Bengals fan's perspective, because we all watch football every week and we see this shit happening. In my opinion, what I saw was a legitimate NFL officiating problem that will need to be addressed.
Sure. I give the floor to Corey and Todd. Gentlemen.
Yeah. I think, I've got a few notes here. First of which was something that we've already talked about, is the Bengals had plenty of opportunities. You can't start a game scoring 6 points. You can't start a game 0-2 in the red zone in terms of scoring touchdowns against the Kansas City Chiefs and expect to win. You just can't do it. You did it last year, but you can't do it multiple times and expect to come out on top. You can't have your quarterback sacked 4 times in the first quarter and expect to have a productive day. Did the offensive line do a lot in the second half to adjust? Absolutely. But you've already set yourselves back so much that it's hard to climb out of that hole. The Bengals, had they had a functional offensive line, they could have been up 14-10 going into halftime. Easily. That defense was playing amazing. They were bending but not breaking the entire game pretty much. Obviously, the scramble play where they dish out to Kelce, there's a 30% chance that I saw the metrics afterwards, 30% chance that Kelce catches that for a touchdown. And it just happened. It's Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. So not beating myself up a whole lot about that. They had a lot of opportunities. Jackson Carman absolutely has shed a new skin. He has earned a new right to actually compete with Jonah Williams and La'el Collins to be a starting tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals next year.
I agree.
And that's phenomenal for a guy who was a second-round pick. Obviously, the rumors that circulated at Clemson, put some some shade on him, and then underperforming in his first year as a rookie. Guess what, guys? Offensive linemen take their biggest step either year 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, depending on how much playing time that they've gotten. And we could be seeing that for Jackson Carman here, which would be a phenomenal thing for him. Max Sharping and Keem Adeniji underperformed poorly. They played bad. They played really, really bad. And every time you saw Chris Jones lined up over Keem Adeniji, you knew that he was going to be affecting the game. And he had a monster game. He's a Hall of Famer, and he played like it. Patrick Mahomes, absolute warrior, playing great the entire time. If I'm going to be honest, I think the Travis Kelce injury was gamesmanship the entire time. So tip of the hat to Andy Reid. I think it's complete bullshit. I don't think he was hurt at all. Back spasms. Yeah, fuck.
Do you think the Bengals thought he was?
No. Or yes, I do. I think that they
enough to adjust differently.
He still didn't have a monster game. I think he had about 83 yards or something like that.
78.
70. Oh my God, Todd, he got you by a half a yard, bro. Yeah. Oh, Todd's lock of the week was 77.
No, I know how many he had.
Well, hold on. On our locks of the week, what did we hit last week? I know P. Ryan had over 3 catches or 2. He had P. Ryan over 2.5 hit. That was my lock.
So George Kittle had 2 catches because Brock Purdy
went out.
Yeah. So sorry about that, everybody. But whatever. McCaffrey scored. We hit
Chase
that
scored.
One. No, he didn't.
No.
Oh no, you're right. He did not. Higgins scored.
He didn't.
Yeah. So we only hit one part of it.
So all right, I've covered that part here. Joe Burrow was rocked from the beginning of that game and didn't play well in the first half. I'll be straight with you. He didn't play well at all. One of the interceptions, I don't really blame on Joe Burrow. I blame T. Higgins not looking for the ball. If T. Higgins is noticing a ball coming towards him, it's not a 50-50 ball. It's an 80-20 ball. T. Higgins is catching that, and you saw him do so for a touchdown in that game.
That's what I was going to say. That's just a bad play by a good player.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because he makes that touchdown catch, which not everybody can do.
Yeah, you saw that touchdown catch, and then the interception. He's just not even looking for the ball, and then KC's right there to catch it. If T. Higgins is looking for that ball, it's a 30-yard gain. It's not an interception or an incomplete pass. So those are my 2 takeaways from there. However, I posted a poll on our Twitter, and I'm grain of salt. It's Twitter.
Right.
We have a lot of Bengals fans in there, but I posted a poll asking people. Not trolling here, only asking because it's trending and hashtag NFL rigged was trending. Do you honestly and wholeheartedly believe the NFL is rigged or has some kind of agenda? We had 30 votes. We have just over 500 followers. So, do the math there. We're looking at about 3% of our followers. That math's not right.
It's not. It's all right though.
Bottle of wine. 33% saying no
50
way.
Followers would be 10%.
30 followers. Yeah, thank you. So we had 30. So it's about 7%.
Yeah.
No way, too much going on, or yes, more tinfoil, please. 33% said no way. 67% said yes. I'm not saying. Hold on. I need to say more after that because that's an outlandish comment. The NFL is not rigged. There is way too much fucking money moving around. There are way too many fucking people moving around. There's no fucking way the NFL is rigged. What this is what Aaron indicated, is a reflection on how poor the officiating is. That's how fucking bad it is. One, let me give them a little nugget of support. The expedited replay is a phenomenal addition to the game. It's a phenomenal addition to the game. More often than not, they get it right. We don't have to stop the game. We just review this real quick, make sure we're good, move on. There were 3, if not 4 instances in this game that could have utilized that or went under more extraneous review and did not get the right call, though. I will first indicate the first down from Juju Smith-Schuster on a 4th down play. That was not a first down. Was it the right spot? No. Was it a first down? Also no. Those are independent things. He should have been fourth and inches, not 4th and 1. but it definitely was not a first down. Also, since when is the line to gain, shout out line to gain, since when is the line to gain a goal line? Since when can you extend the ball, then bring the ball under your own will back to wherever you are, and then you just get wherever, however far you've gone.
Progress. Yeah,
it's not though. You've given up forward progress by bringing the ball. Had he kept it extended and landed, that's forward you go forward and then come back. That's not forward progress.
It is.
That's not what that is. He wasn't pushed back. That's forward progress. If you're running, and then you're stopped by
the
defenders,
same thing when you go out of bounds and extend it, and
you're keeping the ball extended though. You're keeping the ball extended out of bounds.
Keep it extended and bring it back when you come. Yeah, you can. It's
anyway. That's my first bugaboo. Next one. Joe Burrow was roughed on the drive after the intentional grounding. The intentional grounding, first of all, bullshit. Patrick Mahomes did the exact same thing on either the drive before or the drive after. I'm a little murky on that. Too many vodka crayons. Did the exact same thing where a receiver was 7 yards away inside the pocket. Didn't hit the line of scrimmage. No intentional grounding there. Bengals get the intentional grounding. The next play, Joe Burrow drops back, throws the ball, releases, 2 hands to the chest, is pushed to the ground. No roughing the passer call there either. Bullshit. That's a roughing the pass. You don't put. He's released the ball.
I agree with the roughing the passer. Absolutely.
That's an automatic. And what did the Bengals do that drive, guys? They punted the ball to the Chiefs at their own 40-yard line, and they were able to drive the ball down, and a Harrison Butker field goal sends them to the Super Bowl. Following that, on that punt, there is a block in the back, and if not a holding that is uncalled on that punt. They're not called. Moving on to the final play of the game prior to the field goal. Patrick Mahomes drops back to pass. If there isn't 2, there is at least 1 holding on that play. If it's not BJ Hill, it is Trey Hendrickson. If it's not Trey Hendrickson, it is BJ Hill. Those guys are being held. And Patrick Mahomes then scrambles. Even if there's the roughing the passer, those aren't offsetting penalties because it didn't occur within the play, right? One is a dead ball foul and one is during the play. You're a 10 and a 15. That is a 5-yard gain versus a 25-yard gain. Those are vastly different when kicking a field goal to end the game. Vastly different. Those are huge missed calls. And again, I started this with my main point. The Bengals had plenty of opportunities to win this game without allowing the referees to affect it. But we need to recognize, and I think we have, that the referees affected the outcome of this game. I think that there are many people that are willing to admit that the referees affected the outcome of this game. We lost. The Bengals lost. And we lost because there are things that we could have done better as a team to win that game. But there are things that the referees could have done to actually call that. Does Harrison Butker make a 60-yarder? Maybe. Maybe he does. Probably not, is what my guess is. Probably not. That's not Harrison Butker.
You're also, missing how they got those 15 yards, but on the punt, the aside play out of bounds.
No. Even with that, I'm accounting for that.
Sure. I also haven't heard you make a single point of a play that went the opposite way for the Chiefs, which there were some, sure. I agree with you that it was certainly skewed one way, but outside of the Burrow roughing I fully agree with the Burrow roughing the passer one. Like
in a pivotal moment. Pivotal moment.
I agree with that one. And I'm also willing to say that the refs aren't going to get every single play. The holding ones, I have a hard time because every single person that has a good pass rusher, I watch Myles Garrett every week, right? I'm like, that's a hold. That's a hold. That's a hold. Watch Shaq in his prime. That's a foul. That's a foul. That's a foul. You just at a certain point, the refs aren't going to call things at a certain point. And I also think
hard to accept that
the holds. I don't disagree, but I also don't think the holds. As someone who, yes, I wasn't rooting for the Bengals, but I also think my football fanhood isn't. I hope the refs fuck the Bengals today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if the Bengals are going to win, I want them to. You know what I mean? Outside of the Burrow roughing the passer and the ref third down debacle, I had a hard time really getting on board with a lot of these ones that I've heard and a couple of the ones that you mentioned.
It's fair. No, and that I've probably dived into it a lot more because of
you're looking at the Zapruder film,
the scars back into the left. And I
it's a hard sport to ref, if we can be honest.
Yeah, but there's 6 guys out there. Get it right.
Again, agreed. This is a legitimate NFL problem.
And I'm also not talking to the refs. I'm talking to the NFL when I say get it right.
Yeah.
Get it right. There's enough money floating around to where these guys we should be able to see press conferences with the referees. It shouldn't be one-on-one interviews that pop up in paper or on Twitter. I want press conferences with referees. I want them sitting in front of a camera and talking to the press about.
You're never going to get it because they're not full-time employees
yet. I think we're close. I do. I do.
I also think you're going to come with the same problem, though. The good ones are going to get hired because do you want to, at the end of the game in your worst moment, have to answer questions to the free press, or do you want to work at Fox and go, I think they got this one wrong, Tom?
Depends. What are you getting paid?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. I mean, the football players do it.
Yeah. I mean, there should definitely be better.
We have to sit there. We have to sit there and watch Joseph Asai, who is a first-year player, second year in the league, stand in front of multiple reporters, tears in his eyes, while veteran BJ Hill stands next to him, defending him. He feels like he is the reason the Bengals are not in the Super Bowl, which he isn't. He played a phenomenal football game.
He
did Joseph Asai.
It's a bad mistake at a worse moment.
Tears in his eyes. Hates what he did and just miserable with himself. We have to watch reporters hound him and ask him these kinds of questions, but these referees just get to walk away. There's no repercussions for them. They'll be back next year. It doesn't matter. There's no repercussions. There is no metric to grade them by. There is no, I don't get to ref a Super Bowl this year, or there's nothing. There's nothing there to keep that standard upheld. And the press does a good job about that. So it's full-time. Yeah, it's full-time employees for sure. It is training. It is watching film. It is understanding how to properly identify this or that. There are ways to do it. But the first step, fair compensation in a multi-billion-dollar organization that is the NFL. Fair compensation for that. It is proper training and film, and it is consistency in training. Those are the first 4 things that I would do if I was in charge, which I'm not. Roger, call me. I'll start it right now. I promise. I'm not cheap.
So the CBA right now, I believe, is split 50-50 owners, players, if I'm not mistaken. Whose portion is that coming out of?
Owners. Billionaires versus millionaires.
Yeah.
His point is that the ownership group will never agree to it, which I
So
don't think it
what do you mean? It's fit. What we're talking 50-50 because owners are clearly richer than players. So
Well,
what are we talking?
yeah, but they make money elsewhere. It's just
They make more money off the team than the players do.
The salary cap is split across. Yeah,
Gotcha.
right.
So what you're saying is the every player combined makes the same amount off the team as the owners do. Okay, then the owners split. Yeah, it's then make it 50-50. That's fine.
But what I'm saying is the refs.
I think the players sign up for that tomorrow. I think the players sign up for that tomorrow if it's 50-50.
Yeah, and just like any CBA, you have negotiations. You're like, hey, I'm willing to give the refs a piece of my pie if you, in exchange, we go to full grass fields. You know what I mean? Like where do we start this conversation at? Is my point. Is it's all great in the abstract, but until we actually, are willing to talk about it's the same thing. Everyone be like, I can't believe so and so doesn't have an MVP.
Bobby, are you falling asleep right now?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Long blinks. All right, sorry, Aaron.
I don't even know what I was talking about now.
No, you're talking about
CBA,
players giving up one thing for the other.
Yeah. But my point is like the refs do not have a seat at the table. It's owners
not at the moment.
versus players, and every year or every time that there's a new collective bargaining agreement and there's a stoppage or a threat of stoppage, the public opposes the players.
Which is stupid.
100%. It's the dumbest. I don't get it.
I don't understand.
Don't understand it. But
Just play the game. You're paid millions of dollars. Just shut up and play. Shut the fuck up, dude. They are one of 32. That's it. They're one of 32.
divided by 56, divided by
No,
years.
not divided by 56 because there are only 32 starting because it's not the bench guys.
Oh, I'm
that
sorry. I
have
thought
the
you were talking
swing.
about teams.
I'm sorry.
This
I'm
is
talking
32
about
teams.
players. I'm talking
Yeah.
about players, individual players. It's not the bench guys that have the pool at the players union. It's not. These are the it's the players, right?
Starters.
It's the starters. That's just what it is. And they're one of 32 quarterbacks, one of 32 left tackles, one of 32 corners, or I guess, one of 64 corners. But you get what I'm saying. They're supreme. They are the elite athletes. Without them, the game doesn't happen. Or if it does, it's of lesser quality. And I agree, Aaron, we consistently as a public decide, you know what? I'm going to support this billionaire's interests more than this millionaire's interests. What the fuck? Why? Why?
Because you're taking away the thing. So you're taking away the thing that the fan craves for an entire year. And it's easier. It's the same concept as blame the coach, don't blame the quarterback, right? So it's easier to say like, oh, well, the players are holding out, so that means that they're taking away football from me on Sundays, or the thing that I look forward to every Sunday.
Yeah.
Whereas the owners are always the ones in the forefront are saying, well, I'm just trying to make the game happen here. We watched it with baseball.
Yeah.
We watched it with baseball, right? We just went through a lockout.
Yeah.
Where
shit. Yeah.
the MLB owners were like, we're just trying to make the season happen. We're doing whatever it takes to make the season happen.
Except
and the
for
players,
opening our books.
Better PR,
Yeah.
man. I also don't think people can understand the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
3 billion sound. It's like the same people that are like, what's more? Was it 1/3 and 2/4 or whatever? It's like,
I'm gonna pull up his. Go ahead.
no,
So
it's hard to comprehend how much money $18 billion is as opposed to the guy who makes $18 million a year.
yeah.
I want to look something up here. So 1 million seconds.
Oh,
1 million seconds. Do you know how many years that is?
Was it like 5 or 10?
It is a third of a year.
Third. Yeah. I knew it wasn't much.
It is 4
Yeah.
months. 1 million seconds is 4 months.
In a
Do you
billion
know how
seconds,
long a
like, it's
billion
34
seconds
years,
is?
right? Like
Is
30
30 fucking years. 1 billion seconds is 30 fucking years. That is the difference between 1 million and 1 billion.
4
It's
months and
insane.
30 years.
It's insane.
It's astronomical.
Now have multiple.
And then have
Those.
multiple of those. Yeah. Fucking
30,
crazy.
30 of them or 29 of them in the
Yeah.
NFL.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
That's why I don't get it. So,
I
but
don't get
anyways, really what this is about is I agree. Somebody has to pay the refs.
And let me I feel like I need to clear the water here or clear the air here. The Bengals deserve to lose that football game. I'm going to say that right now as a Bengals fan, they deserve to lose that game.
I don't know that they
We're-
deserved it.
Well, they didn't play well
They
enough.
didn't play well
They
enough
didn't play
to win
well
the
enough.
game.
Your
No,
quarterback
my-
sacked
yeah.
4 times in the first quarter. You didn't score any touchdowns in your first 2 red zone trips.
Yeah,
You
you had
deserve to
0.
lose that football game.
Yeah, you had 0 yards in the first quarter. You can't
0
not put-
yards.
you can't not put yards on the field.
No
and
way.
expect to win. Yeah.
Did
Just doesn't happen.
Did I have hope? Absolutely. We tied the fucking game up. I was like, yeah, dude, we're back, baby. We're back. What did I text you guys at halftime? Gonna need more than 7. Of course they did. They did need more. They won by 3, but yeah. Great season, Bengals. So proud
Yeah,
to be a
I
fan
mean,
of that team.
And they're in a great spot.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a great roster with a great young quarterback.
They will be better next year.
Yeah. I mean, I
mean,
hope
yeah.
I hope you guys. I mean, they're going to be in the
Hope
Super
they're-
Bowl
yeah.
conversation for years to come.
I think
And-
people take them seriously now as well. Getting back to the AFC
And-
Championship back-to-back years, we had people saying they weren't even going to make the fucking playoffs this year.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, the way the season started out, it wasn't looking promising.
but 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, there's
They
not
are
a lot of-
actually the first team to make the playoffs, starting 0-2 in the last.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I mean,
Some
0-2 is a very dictative stat.
That or
To making the
Conference
playoffs.
championship.
Make the conference change. They're the first team since like 1970 something to make
Yeah,
the
I was
conference
gonna say
championship.
Right, starting
Starting
0-2,
yeah.
it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah,
And it was like
Yeah, I
since
mean,
1990 something winning your division.
So the questions arising around them being successful this season were valid.
Prior.
starting
no,
0-2.
but I'm talking about beginning of the season. They
Yeah,
had
before
asked
the
this
season
question.
started.
yeah, then those
Before the season started, they're like, they're not even going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Rams. They won the Super Bowl. They weren't even close to the playoffs.
Yeah, but what would they
Hey.
rather have?
Yeah, they won the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Well, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and I even just I'm saying for you guys, and what you just
Yeah,
said.
Super Bowl.
Would you
Super Bowl.
rather miss the
Yeah.
playoffs this year while winning the Super Bowl last year?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah,
yeah,
you would.
yeah,
Fuck
absolutely.
yeah, you would.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's it's one of those things.
They're perennial now for sure.
With Joe Burrow at the helm, you guys have a shot to win the Super Bowl every year.
And Zach
Yeah,
Taylor. I think Zach Taylor deserves a lot of credit as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting to see how Kansas City and Philadelphia match up. Obviously Philly had some large scandal this week in the news. Fuck that guy.
God, dude,
He who
That's
will
from
not be named.
2019, by the way.
if he's
He who will
guilty,
not be named. Fuck that piece of shit. That's like the worst crime that you can do out. As
Yeah,
Todd
this is-
said
this
if
is
today,
he's
where
guilty, if he's
outside-
guilty,
outside of murdering somebody, that's the worst thing on the
let's
planet.
put
that
it.
you
He's
can
only
do.
been accused. I feel like we get into this mode like a guy has been accused of something or he's been indicted of something, and we convict him as a public. Let's let the trial
Right.
play out.
No, I agree with you. If he's not guilty, then that's a a
Now, if
shame
there's
on-
29 people that say he did it, that's a different story. But
right. Yeah, I mean, we'll let the cards fall where they may, but being convicted of something like that, you obviously have to put yourself in a less than favorable situation, and so there's got to be at least something there. So, shame on him for putting himself in that situation. Number one, number two, if he did it, fuck him. But it's we'll see where the
plays
cards fall. But I mean, regardless, we'll have more to talk about next week. We'll break down
we'll miss you,
Super
Aaron.
Bowl, our thoughts. Aaron will not be with us next week.
Sorry, guys.
He's going to the
Enjoy.
Cavs games. Got some great seats, so looking forward to that. But boys, fun show tonight.
show.
A lot of fun stuff that we talked about.
Babe
and,
Ruth to go, dude.
Look forward to getting into the final week of the NFL season and moving forward, and get into some basketball and some baseball. And I mean, we'll still have the NFL draft and the offseason.
The NFL is going nowhere.
NFL is going nowhere. I mean, we've got a ton of stuff to still talk about. I think
Me and
there's a couple
Todd are
things
gonna have
we
some who
missed
the fuck
today.
it is.
So,
It's gonna be great.
yeah,
God,
it's
back.
still going to be
It's gonna be back.
fantastic content. We will still be bringing it at a high level. So stay tuned for that. But
Subscribe.
appreciate everybody who came out tonight. Make sure that you drop that like and subscribe, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Music, Podbean, however you're consuming the content. We
Mars, I don't
appreciate you
give a shit.
nonetheless. We will see you guys next Wednesday for our pre-Super Bowl show. For Corey, Aaron, Todd, and myself, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week.
Peace.